That's on this panel, y'all have more kids than all of us women.
51% of black men are single and childless.
Excuses for the statistics. The statistics don't go well in your favor. So you say things like, okay, are they shooting blanks, or they
is his, because men, I don't feel like men are overall passive aggressive, the majority of men. Do you think that silence is that passive aggressive? Because we will do that.
Yeah, because there's niggas that'll use that as a way to trigger a woman. Like, because a lot of time a woman will tell you, like, when you're silent, it makes me feel like I'm ignored. So a nigga will do that intentionally.
Yeah, no, I'm just, because I didn't agree with the passive aggressive part until Mary said that. I'm like, okay, I can see men and be like, you know what? I ain't saying nothing else. Will unsubscribing from the Democratic Party help fix Black America?
Let's just unsubscribe. No, you got to know why.
I don't think so.
That's the only thing that get black people together. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like
Wow.
that.
What I think will fix is if black people truly understood politics.
Because for a guy, because listen, it's so many different reasons for a man to want to hang out with his friends.
Adrian, I'm not gonna let that slide. I heard you. Why do you think that it's older single women who share that opinion?
Sometimes that's the case. There has to be
Explain what White History Month is.
It's honoring the achievements of the greatest ethnic group in human history.
Wow.
I think all of that shit deserves a put them in the bathroom.
Would you rather have a whore of a daughter or a gay son?
Let's see here.
bruh?
Because if she's a hoe, that ain't my problem. Hell, she just be a hoe. Shit.
That's the whore, definitely. Like,
yeah, is going to college a waste of time?
Absolutely.
I wouldn't think for biology.
It's ridiculous.
And can I just piggyback on that?
Read this for me, Q.
Okay, $5 super chat from Omega Green. Depends. Go for STEM, medical or law. However, if you go for BS degrees like communications, is that supposed to be policies or
poli-sci, political science?
Poli-sci, okay. Yeah. Or criminal justice, it's wasted time.
Final thought.
When you take a man's time, it's like taking his money. When you take a man's money, it's like taking his time. Simply put, we want something for it. If you're not interested, don't go out. Sis, hit me up. Let's clear your coochie balance.
Do women, should they still be covered by men? Do women need to understand what it takes for men to feel like they should be covered by men?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, women don't value men anymore, and it's evident.
For women to admit that they're not equal to their men, women have to come to that conclusion that you are not equal to your man. Are you for spanking? Let's go around the room, yes or no. Q, you for spanking?
Absolutely.
Age.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so big kids don't get spankings?
You gotta fight them niggas.
There's no difference between divorced women and single mothers. The man will, in both circumstances, suffer comparably with no benefit to himself. The benefits don't outweigh the cost.
But it's still better to go with someone who hasn't gone through that. It's still better to not choose.
Have men been getting over on household duties all this time?
Listen, but I don't touch a trash bag to save my life. So let me ask you, could you and your wife switch roles in what you do versus what for that person? Hold y'all back or let y'all go?
Physically, can't nobody hold me back.
Ain't no such thing as a fair fight. But Ish, what can't be fleeting?
Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right up on the shoe. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right up on the shoe. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right up on the shoe. Watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the clock out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right up on the shoe. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right up on the shoe. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right up on the shoe. Watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the clock out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling.
When I need space, that's where I go. A place to escape that nobody knows. Where I feel free to let things go and face this evil that burdens my soul. I bring my hatred, I pack my pain, all the emotions I cannot explain. It's where I found God and filled that hole. It's He, myself, and I on that lonely dirt road. I needed somewhere to take my mistakes. I didn't want my family to see me cry. They'll never know I'm carrying all of this weight, dealing with the pressure of trying to provide. No sign of struggle can show on my face. They ask if I'm okay, I just flash them a smile. Fire up that engine to take me away. I'm speeding through emotions with every mile. On that road is where I find my peace. I remember Daddy told me about some times like these. On that road is where my mind's at ease. I keep driving life away, rejecting change. So when I need space, that's where I go. A place to escape that nobody knows. Where I feel free to let things go and face this evil that burdens my soul. I bring my hatred, I pack my pain, all the emotions I cannot explain. It's where I found God and filled that hole. It's He, myself, and I on that lonely dirt road. I tried my best to plant the seeds and then I watered everything that was in my life. But as a man, the only flowers that you get are when you're 6 feet under on the day you die. I think I feel the pain my father felt, it's finally sinking in. Looking back, all I see is his eyes. He said that house is not a home unless you build it on respect, with some kids and a loving wife. If these walls could talk, I'd bet they'd say it's all my fault, that I don't try hard, that I ain't man enough, that I ain't standing up, that I just burn everything that my hands touch. Whoa. If these walls could talk, I bet they'd say I'm to blame. That I'm the one who put myself inside of all of these chains. That my addictive personality's what ran them away. And that I hurt myself by staying quiet and not explaining. And now I'm broken in places I can't even see. I know there's gotta be a heaven, cause the hell that's in me is taking a dangerous toll that I'm paying with all of my soul. When I need space, that's where I go. A place to escape that nobody knows. Where I feel free to let things go and face this evil that burdens my soul. I bring my hatred, I pack my pain, all the emotions I cannot explain. It's where I found God and feel that hole. It's He, myself, and I on that lonely dirt road. I can't hide myself. I don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man. It's a lonely road, and they don't care about what you know. It's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that home. Yeah, I know this life can really beat you down. You wanna scream, but you won't make a sound. Got so much weight that you've been holding, but won't show any emotion. As a man that goes unspoken, that we can't cry when life gets hard. Unconditional loves for women, children, and dogs. We know that we just have to play our parts, and don't nobody give a damn about our broken hearts. Yeah, as a man we gotta pave our way. Our only function is to work and slave. There's no respect for you if you ain't paid. You're disregarded as a human and you can't complain. And if you ever make it up and actually reach that base and find a woman that you love and give her your last name, you'll feel the things that you provide is only why she stays. And when you try to explain, you'll say, I can't hide myself. I don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man. It's a lonely road, and they don't care about what you know. It's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that home. Don't give up, keep fighting. As a man, our sun is our horizon, and our father's actions play a role, and we end up like them. So they can't let us see them hurt, cause we'll embody what they do and start a generational curse. No wonder most men are so depressed, all the things that they can't express. They go to war, get thrown on the shelf, then go back to war with their mental health. Then grab that bottle and ask for help, try to pull themselves out of hell, then fall back down and then realize that they're gonna have to do it themselves. It's the circle of life. As a man you provide, they don't know what you're worth till the day that you die. And that's when they start crying, then move on to a man to confide in. That's why we feel we can't hide ourselves. We don't expect you to understand. We just hope we can explain what it's like to be a man. It's a lonely road, and you don't care about what we know. It's not about how we feel, but what we provide inside that home. Inside that home. It's not about how we feel, but what we provide inside that home. Inside that home.
I'll tell you what. Round about the time I got married, maybe a little bit before. No, I was married just a few years ago. 20. What is this? 24. So let's call it 2017, just for the sake of the conversation. I'm asleep in bed with my wife. If she's here, she can tell you the story. If not, she's in the other room. I'm asleep and I'm having a dream. And I didn't realize I was having a dream until I woke up. And what woke me up was the realization that I kicked my wife. When I say I kicked her, I mean, I Donkey Konged her. What I was doing, I was either breaching a door or kicking someone off of it. I don't know. I don't remember the details of the dream, but the dream was, you know what I mean? Like I was operating and shit, you know what I mean? And my leg, I just remember Molly whopping her. I'm surprised I didn't break her shin or some shit, you know? And I immediately woke up on impact. Boom. And I realized, I said, did I just kick some? And I'm looking at my body's on, and hey, are you all right? And she's, yeah. You know what I mean? Like she's like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. To this day, I talk about it. I'm apologizing. She knew instantly what it was. She's like, no, it's not your fault. You didn't, you know what I mean? She's like, I knew. I mean, it surprised the hell out of me, and it hurts like all hell. But the moment it happened, she forgave me. She said, nothing to forgive. She knew exactly what it was. She said, I know you would never. And I beat myself up about it still. I don't know what's worse, the damn dream and what led me to it, or the fact that it's having an effect on her. Like, I don't even sleep as close to her, you know, like I don't, like that spoonish, we don't do that. We got this huge king and I'm over here and she's over there. You know, I don't want to, sometimes I don't even sleep in the bed, or, you know what I mean? Because I just, you shouldn't have to feel the fallout of any of this. And that's if I sleep. She'll tell you about my sleeping patterns. Well, you can probably figure out my sleeping patterns. I don't. And then she even when I'm asleep, she can have a conversation and I can verbatim repeat the entire conversation as if I was awake and eavesdropping.
Is this associated with that experience, the military experience?
100%. I was a 12-hour teenager just like the rest of us before I went. I'd go out and wouldn't come back into this world until I was good and damn ready. Now, sleep is weird to her. I mean, not anymore. She's like, yeah, that's how he sleeps. But it was surreal. Do you sleep? And then when I do sleep, I might get 14 straight, just catch up, or I don't sleep at all, or my ability to sleep on a pinhead, wake right up and operate, go from completely out to behind the wheel of a vehicle in 3 minutes. It's including brushing teeth, getting dressed. You know, it's strange. Or she'll have a conversation and I'll wake up and contribute to the conversation and the fuck?
Broken sleep, man. That unrest. Damn.
But she's super supportive. Like I couldn't have a better wife. She makes that experience so easy for me.
Yeah.
I mean, because I get to live it. I get to process it the way I naturally. I don't even feel bad about it anymore. I actually can sleep. Sleep is something that it's on a button for me now. I get sleep when I want sleep, and then I'm rested. And she'll even take care of the kids, whatever is necessary around it, and let me sleep. Stay the fuck out of it. I'll go to sleep at 1 o'clock in the morning and won't wake up until 6 o'clock the following morning. Not disturbing. But I don't know that that's really even irrelevant at all.
That would probably be the worst feeling.
Then there's a selection of people that made the decision you made, and you admire them, more than you admire yourself, because you're questioning yourself. What the fuck have I done now? Why am I in this? But you admire them because they made the decision
that didn't come back.
You come back.
When you go to countries, like you mentioned, like Haiti, people fall into the person who look like you. Did that change it?
When you run in, it changes. When you back in, it doesn't change. And you run,
it's a stampede!
the stampede.
Wow.
You muted, or your mic might not be on.
Yo, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most.
You hear now?
It's a stampede! DJ Ham, the stampede. DJ Ham, the stampede.
Aaron, what's popping?
Nothing to it, man. Just blessed to see another day above the surface, man. You know what I mean?
That's a fact, though. How was the weekend?
Good, productive as always. Hey, man, today my wife and I had a pretty big morning. We went to an assembly, or what was that we went to, babe? An assembly? Student of the Month assembly. Our daughter was awarded Student of the Month. This month's topic was responsibility. It changes every month: responsibility, discipline, blah blah blah. And she was also selected, and she tested for, and was selected and inducted into some gifted program. And her particular gift is in the what is it? A verbal communication or some shit. It's not like STEM based, but communication. Anyway, she's gifted to that degree.
Yeah.
So she's like officially like the shit. Well, she always was, but now it's on wax. So we're loving it.
Wow.
Shit like that. Shit like that.
Tell her we love her. We proud of her, man.
Yes, sir. Yep. I will replay this for her later on. She'll see it herself. Appreciate it.
Indeed, man. That's what's up, man. Celebrate, you know. They always want to blur the lines between cocky and confident. People that be calling people cocky, they probably hating anyway.
Perfect.
Indeed.
Yep. Damn, man. That's what's up, man.
You're a little low, I think. Or maybe.
Am I low? Check.
Chat. One, he's low. Two, he's fine, because I can't hear myself.
Yeah. Check. I'm good.
That came up a little bit.
Okay. Let me know in the chat. One in the chat if I'm good. Put a one. Let me know. Okay. This might be straight. Might be yes. Yeah, man. Damn. That's good, man. That's good to kick it off like that, man. Put a one in the chat if you're having a good, if you had a good weekend, you know, week starting off with a bang, hopefully, you know. Perfect. You know what Miss Fantastic at? He should be up here shortly. But gotta get it popping, man. Now, how old is Mental Health Month for men?
How old is Mental Health Month for men? She says she thinks it's a recent thing. She doesn't think it's very old. She's going to look into that right now.
Okay.
Shout out to the wife, the resident mental health expert in my life, anyway.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if she want to scoot in or give it a link or whatever the case is, but
he said if you want the link, whenever he could shoot it to you or whatever.
You want to get in?
Whatever you want.
Cause I was thinking. So, Aaron, we was in the Discord. Okay, James said 94. Okay. So
she said 94. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we were in the Discord. And we were kind of talking about like the mental health. You know, there was a young brother that came up on the show. They were trying to figure out like where his head was at. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So it used to be 1 week when it was first introduced in 1994. Thank you, James. Appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And we started talking about depression, right? And so so adamantly, I didn't really believe in depression, you know, but as I open up to different possibilities and just giving things a fair shake, I still am on the fence with it, but it's starting to come more and more to be realistic. You know what I'm saying? A little bit. The only thing that gives me cause for pause, Aaron, is it can show up in so many different ways.
Yeah.
You know? So people will look depressed and they'll look joyful and be depressed. If you believe in the term, believe that it's a thing, right? And it manifests so differently. I'm almost thinking like now it's an umbrella term, right? To maybe mask the actual issue. Does the actual issue get covered up by using the term depression? Are people using that word depression conveniently, right? When it just may be a tough time, And then do people use those type, I'm depressed as an excuse, what is a clinical diagnosis, because depending on who you go to, you get a different response. So that's why I kind of question it, Clips had asked me some good questions. He was saying, do I believe in sad, mad, anger, happy? I said, well, I know what emotions look like, so I believe in those things, right? Because I know I can identify them. But depression is so difficult to identify, So I started, and there's just another thing, and then you can go ahead and give your commentary. There's another thing. The science, it's not even science, right? The ideology, methodology, right? That where we got all this stuff from, right? The Greeks mostly, correct me if I'm wrong, you or Joel, right?
Yeah.
But then I'm like, the Athenians was into a whole lot of shit I ain't into.
Right.
And who put Plato on a pedestal?
Right.
And we think so much differently than our Caucasian counterparts.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking, how do I properly apply, or if I can even properly apply their ideologies to how I move in the earth and live my life? Like, am I predicating, how I diagnose my mental based on the Athenians,
right?
Based on the Greeks? Because we don't operate the same. Of course, there's commonalities, right? But we don't do even crime. We don't even do crime the same. Right. And I just use crime because it's easily qualifiable because we can look up stats and things of that nature.
Right.
Food, we don't even do the same.
Yeah.
It ain't a running joke that the food don't taste like nothing by accident.
Yeah.
Family, we don't even do the same. Like literally, Aaron, my moving company, our niche is elderly. When you go into these places, it's 95% white. Very rarely do you see a black woman or man in there because we don't do family that way.
Right.
We don't party the same thing. We don't praise the same things. So now I'm thinking, but now I'm my ideology and how I see, how I process is now based on methods that they came up with. It gives me cause for pause. You know what I'm saying? My bad. I was talking a lot.
Yeah, I can dig it. I mean, and you're absolutely 100% correct in everything you're saying. Everything that you're curious about. The thing. So first, let me shout you out for acknowledging the pseudoscience that is psychology. Right, as a scientist, right, it's very difficult to measure. It's very difficult to quantify. Right, and the word you used often was qualify. So you're correct there. I think taking that baseline understanding, which is perfect, will help mine out what's useful and what isn't. So now let's take a look at the word depression versus anger, happiness. So depression is really a condition of the mind that can manifest in different ways through expressed emotions, sadness or happiness. Like happiness can be used as a mask or a crutch that someone's leaning on for themselves, a coping mechanism, a mask. Maybe whatever led them to depression is based on the way they think the world sees them. So now they feign happiness to try and change the world's perspective of them, to dig themselves out of depression. Depression can manifest itself as somebody who just does not want to wake up. And you'll think, damn, what are you narcoleptic? You know what I mean? Like all you do is sleep. Or they're just not motivated to get up out of the bed and do anything in the world. You know what I mean? So depression isn't necessarily an emotional state as much as now, let me preface with this. I am nobody's psychiatrist. I'm married to a mental health professional, and I'm a scientist. So I'm just speculating. But depression itself can manifest in many different ways and have many different causes. That I do believe is true. The different ways it can manifest are emoted differently, and that's where emotions come in. Now, what that means to us, I would just say, as they say, spit out the bones and eat the meat, so to speak. Pause. Just look at how it applies to your life. What applies, use it. What doesn't apply, discard it. There's no need for us to attach ourselves or assume any allegiance to things that don't work for us. Because, like you're right. Culturally, historically, we're different, and a lot of the differences show that they were on some shit. But at the same time, a clock can be right twice a day if it's broken. So as far as like the way we handle our own lives, my philosophy is this: we all live our own lives. You live yours, I live mine. We're responsible for our own lives, so we got to take from what we see in the world around us and use it to the best of our ability. I would encourage people not to invest too much in anything that they didn't create for themselves or that their people didn't create because of those differences. But don't dismiss it either, because you might be letting a gem pass by hidden.
Baby out with the bathwater, right?
Right.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Right, baby with the bathwater, exactly.
100%, man. We were thinking about it. So I have Suffering in Silence scrolling right now. But now I'm just thinking about yesterday. And there's one thing I presented, right? I was like, height. It's such a big deal made about height, And we see on these little shows where women talk about 6 feet and all that.
Yeah.
And then you have women in the chat, like Ask Ave as an example. She'd be like, height don't really matter. Y'all make it a big deal. Men.
Right.
So I took that and I said, okay, let's expound on that idea. Is it men in a way burdening other men too? Or are men focused on these things that make them feel lesser than? Because I DJ a whole lot. Anecdotally, I've been to more weddings than everybody. I can almost guarantee that shit.
Yeah.
And it be people of average height getting married. All the 6 foot guys, they getting married too, but it's a lot of people just getting married, So I just wonder, where does the burden lie in terms of a man's psyche? Is it access to women, but is it also the pressure of his peers and his brothers? Is it the fact that we don't cut each other slack? What is leading to men having out of all the suicides, 85% of them? Now, I saw this on Instagram, but I saw it several times. Somebody fact check this, and we can do it, obviously, Aaron. But it said 404. I think I told you 445,000 suicides, 85% men. That's a lot. The number gotta be wrong, I think, because it was like we're only halfway through the year, and it's 440. I said something ain't right. But when I first saw it, I was like, damn. Sporties looked it up yesterday, and it was like 40,000 suicides last year or 2 years ago, and that was still 85% men. Mr. Fantastic was popping.
Brother.
Yo, what up?
Good.
What up, man?
So I actually have the wrong banner, in my opinion. I think I want to go here first. Suicide and life expectancy.
Just for the conversation, those numbers, when you say 85% of 445, that's like 375,000 men, 380.
Yeah, I know. And that's why I'm thinking that number was crazy for
Wild,
a half
right.
a year.
Yeah.
I think maybe they meant to put 40,000, 30,000, but I clicked on it because I said, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? You on mute, Mr. Fantastic. But Sporties looked up something. It was 40,000 in 2023. It was like,
yeah, like 44,000 in 2023, something like that.
That's what it. Maybe they add, whoever did it added an extra 4 in there. You know.
Yeah.
But 85% men.
That's the number. The percentage.
Yeah, the percentage is key, right? In
Right.
that demographic, 85%. Now, I know we have the conversation when we in discourse that'll say women ain't committing to it, but they also on the antidepressants, right? But if the antidepressants, right, y'all just take this walk with me, is allowing them to get through life without killing themselves, is there something to it? And I get it, men, we say men will make the decision, right, and do the job. Niggas ain't trying to take 1,000 aspirins knowing good and goddamn well you can't you know what I'm saying, to get attention. But the truth is those men are gone. And it's like, what is burdening us 85% click? To where even you see what I'm, Mr. Fantastic, here's the other thing. You got 100 suicides out of 100, 85 men. I don't even care. The ladies' numbers are nominal. So what is happening to us? Now, somebody put this in the chat. They said, hold on, Miss Jilly, hold on, let me see. Okay, so the Native Americans?
Yeah, they're extremely high. Alcoholism and a lot of stuff. Drug abuse. Native Americans suffer the most. But the thing is, you know, that's the smallest demographic. I think they're like 3% of the population now, if that.
If that, yeah.
Crazy. That
like 1.5 to 3.
You sick to your stomach. Even just saying that out loud. You know what I'm saying? The fact they 3% of the population. But like this, right? Where do we fall? Do you know off the top of your head? It's fantastic. Black men. Somebody said in the chat we were the highest, but I knew the Native Americans were the highest.
No, they're not. We're not the highest. We're not the highest in rate, and we're not the highest in total. Of course, it's going to be white men the most. So white men are going to be volume. Rate would be Native Americans.
And then where do we fall? Somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere would be with third, not the middle, like third or fourth or whatever. I don't know what Hispanics would be, but we can Google it real quick.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking, right? Overall, like what's pushing us 85% of the suicides? What's happening to men or not happening?
I think it's a combination of everything you said to some degree, even when it comes to the availability and the use of antidepressants among women. That's a self-fulfilling prophecy in that men are, for one reason or another, pushed to not use them for the sake of just being tough. Right? So the fact that we avoid them, what motivates us to avoid them is exactly why we should be on them. That's what's killing us, among other things. But that's just one way of it's a self-feeding, a self-fulfilling prophecy. But everything else you said, though, heavy as the head, expectation, all of it. The expectations we put on ourselves, the expectations placed on us from our women. And when you were saying about men getting married, yeah, 6 foot and over men do get married, but you're saying a lot of gentlemen under 6 feet get married. Well, that's because the majority of men are under 6 feet. So of course the numbers are going to shake out that way, but it doesn't change the perception that the more desired man is over 6 feet. And that's something that under 6 feet men have to live with. Even if they get married, it doesn't solve the problem that maybe their wife in conversation even would show favoritism to a man that's more than 6 feet tall. I'm talking as a man that's 6'5". I'm speaking from a very privileged position. This perspective is from the treetop, pun intended and not intended. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I think it's everything, man. You add it all up, I think it all just comes down to heavy is the head that wears the crown, and that no matter how heavy that crown gets on our head, we can't show it, even when we need to, and that's what's killing us.
So, are we built for it?
We don't have a choice but to be. That's the other problem. Well, probably not. I would say not built for this much. No. But who else is? Somebody has to be.
I definitely say we were built for it because, like you said, 44,000 out of the hundreds of millions of people. I don't know what that would be, but I'm pretty sure it's under 10%, right? If we're going yearly.
Well, yeah, you're right, 100%. It's nominal in comparison to the amount of men, right?
But you're just saying the way that is affected by men versus women. Then I think it's a lot of other things that come to play. Shout out to Aaron, everything he said.
And then mention that before you go, just looking at the number, and then I'm looking at like the 2 videos I played from Dax, right? He got damn near 100 million views, right?
Mhm.
So it's speaking to a whole lot of people, and that's country music. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, my fault.
Well, no. I was just saying. I think men's way of doing things, again, testosterone and understanding stuff or whatever, and actually wanting it to get done. And like you said, Hamp, I'm not, and this isn't a shot at people that take that method, but of course, but I want it over with. I'm out. I'm checking out. All right. So I'm gonna do the most violent, most efficient way of me doing it. Go ahead and get it over with. No second guessing. I made my mind up. I'm out. Right. Versus like you said, women, and that's why we talk about this, the total difference between men and women. Women aren't as violent, women aren't testosterone driven. So for them, it's okay, I don't want to be here no more, but at the same time, I'm crying out for help. I do want help. I do need attention. So if I do it in a method which people have enough time to intervene, now I've sent the message that I really got some shit going on, but at the same time, now people understand I'm not playing enough to give me the attention that I need. You feel me? So I think it's us being very, very self-sufficient and not being able to be emotional and be vulnerable, right? Because we say it all the time. Like I for 20 years, bro. Hey man, what's up? How you? Hey man, another day. No matter how good or bad it was, another day, right? But my resolve. I love me. I tell you, I will make it to tell everybody around this motherfucker, bro. Before I do something, everything to me, y'all be calling motherfucking base police out here, okay? Anybody fucking push me to the point of where I can't take it no more, hey, I'm finna go up. I'm gonna go see the man, get this motherfucking money taken out of my check, and best possibly it's gonna be worth the ass whipping I give whoever I give out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that just to protect myself, but at the same time, keep people in line and not, have people trying you and shit. We all grown people, right? But a lot of people don't have that resolve, and like you said, I think that this turns into a whole lot of other things, right? So what about the people that survive but drug addicts, alcoholics, all kinds of other things that brothers turn to as coping mechanisms. And like you said, because society doesn't make it okay for men to be vulnerable, especially from an emotional and mental standpoint, a lot of them suffer in silence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, real shit, man. And I have suffering in silence as a scrolling topic, and then I know it all kind of blends, So when I look at the suicide rates and the sources aren't vetted, right? I haven't clicked on them, but just as the AI overview. So I put in black men suicide demographics, right? So third leading cause of death for black men aged 10 to 24. Second leading cause of death of African Americans. So that's males there, and then this one says African Americans aged 15 to 24. Looks like there was a spike between 2013 and 2019, 50% suicide rate among black males aged 15 to 24. Now, overall, for men, the suicide rate that is the highest is like elderly, like 70 and up. Age patterns among black African American population, suicide rates peak during adolescence and young adulthood and then decline through age 85 plus. Now that is so what do we do in our culture? Right? I'm just thinking about when we young, that age. Like sticks and stones shit is not true. Cause I don't know what words y'all use, crack on, joke, what y'all call it down south? Like, what's it called?
Yeah, crack, joning, roasting,
Yeah.
all that shit. Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, we roast like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm just thinking, like, is it the treatment of each other? Like, how do we treat each other?
It doesn't help for sure. We definitely could use a stiff shot of encouragement in the way we treat one another. You know what I mean? In the recipe that we use in treatment, encouragement needs to be added to that as an ingredient for sure. Benevolence.
Is this a result of bullying?
Bullying?
Well, the reason why I'm looking at the 2013 to 2019, so you really start to get social media heavy. And now, when we was younger, you can get away from a nigga at least for the day once you go home. But now you got cyber attacks and all types of shit where shit is in your face, and then you got comparison that is killing joy because why he popular, why she popular, why he got all the attention. Plus, I'm being bullied. I can't get a shine cart. And I'm just thinking, you know, like
Well, yeah, I would say it's
is it?
I would say it's that Hamp, more so than the bullying. I think it's social pressures and expectations now that especially children, you know, they driven by that shit. They live on it, right? So imagine, you know, that's when people start giving their kids phones. You know, you got toddlers around with tablets and phones now. You know what I'm saying? They're not even paying attention to the birds and the squirrels and all this other shit. Everybody's face is on the phone. So their reality is actually through the internet. That's why I be telling people, oh, you know, the internet's not real. Well, it may not be real to you, but if you got a whole demographic of people that grew up on this and they spend, let's say, 75% of their day, you know what I mean, with their face on the phone, and look at the social media platforms. It's what we had, what, 2 or 1.5?
Yeah, 1.5, really.
You feel me? If your ass like before no one even knew about Facebook other than college students. You know, you had MySpace, you had Black Planet. That, you know what I'm saying? You might have had like some chat rooms or whatever.
Yeah, that shit
but
was
you know,
yeah.
And then it wasn't no even that was your local, right? People you knew. You weren't just really connected to somebody way over in Timbuktu or motherfucking Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Now, literally, it's all the world is in your face every day. Pause, right? And these kids have these expectations to be 16 years old and Fendi, Gucci, Prada, Balenciaga. You know, I gotta have the newest fucking cut. I gotta know the newest stupid ass TikTok dance. You know, and I mean that's a lot, man. That's a lot.
Yeah, the pressures are great, but we see, you know, men succumbing. And so when we talk about, let me read these real quick. Daily with the $2 says shit like
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Disco was wild on Sunday. Yeah, they was having a lot of fun. I don't know, upgraded or nude or whatever.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
Strong was popping. DC Slim, what up, my G? Good to see you. Underground was goody. Been a member for 15 months. He said, it's real, but per usual, misuse and diagnose themselves. It's real, but per usual, misuse and diagnose themselves to their advantage. Example, narcissist, autistic, ADHD. My zodiac is this, etc. Aaron with the $5 says, I've told my story to the ones I love, and the feedback made me want to shut up and hold it in or crash out. Better to talk to someone you don't know. Okay. Trevor Trev with the $10 says, the sad reality is that this is after this show, women still not gonna care about men's mental health. Women always gonna somehow make it about them. Enjoy your wife beaters and socks for Father's Day, fellas.
What up, buzzing, birds flipping dozen.
Uh-huh.
Holla at your boy, you thought your cousin was.
So Ezekiel Ben Israel in the building who gifted 1 membership, man. Whoever got blessed with it, welcome to the family. Please maintain it. And say thank you. To Roos, what's poppin'? Been a member for 14 months. What up, my G? I'm on different meds and go through therapy. I was a train wreck and ineffective as a man to my family until I decided to swallow my pride and ask for help. I am functional now. Man, that's fucking transparent, bro. Damn. Aaron with the $5 says, there's a group of men who doing it to protect others from them crashing out also. That shit is. So, this is what I was going to get to, right? So, where is it? Because I just look at the life expectancy. We know it's, 10 or so years, whatever the case is, different for us as opposed to women and shit like that. And we just wonder, what are we prepared for? I think Mr. Fantastic is accurate in saying, yo, that testicular fortitude, you see it day in and day out because 40,000 out of, 160 million is nominal, except for when we talk about that demographic. And I just wonder who's having negative thoughts, who's being overly affected by what's going on to him day to day. I remember I was watching this on Instagram and I couldn't find it. Yeah, I might have seen it. This black dude, I think he worked construction. He was just in his yard yelling and screaming about he like 60 now, just worked his life away. All he did was work just his whole life. You know what I'm saying? And it was somebody else's name on the back of his shirt. You know, some white man named construction. You know what I'm saying? So what do y'all think about this, man? Y'all know I'm pretty skeptical with therapy and shit like that. What's y'all take on therapy? You know what I mean?
Well, I'll let Aaron's closer to the subject matter expert here, so I'll go after him.
Therapy in and of itself, I'm very skeptical on, because the first thing for therapy to be effective is the person being treated has to be completely and 100% honest with everything. And that's very difficult to do. Not only you have to be honest, you have to be forthcoming, which is different. Being honest is choosing to tell the truth. Being forthcoming is being able to tell the truth. You might be forgetting shit, right? So you have to be willing and able to to give all the facts to make the treatment as effective as possible. Things you leave out can absolutely turn that around. Secondly, it's on the therapist themselves. Their effectiveness. What's the probability that they're going to let their own personal bias influence the treatment, their own personal opinions, lifestyles, views, worldviews? And it's easy to say, well, you're not supposed to, or, you're ethically bound not to, or you're trained not to. But as we always say, always don't mean always. You know what I mean? Like, absolutes are to be avoided. There's going to be chinks in that armor, right? I mean, there's so much at stake with therapy, and people invest so much in therapy that I don't know you can afford to have those chinks in the armor. But it's certainly worth pursuing. But I think it's the person being treated has to be the right person. They got to find the right therapist, and it has to be approached correctly. Other than that, I would just say lean on your village, lean on the people that respect, and trust. Lean on your family, lean on your elders, lean on your mentors, your superiors, people like your father, my father, our older brother, our big brothers in the community. When the brothers come and seek our counsel, I think that's a better form of therapy, because we're going to be honest and we're going to cover those flaws and gaps. We're going to be quick to say, look, I'm not an expert in this, but in my life, this is what worked. And then you get that from other people. And from that, you can tailor your own therapy program to fit your life from the experiences of others. And then it's up to you how much you want to share based on the comfort level you have with the people that you're talking to.
But
which is more effective, again, because you're more likely to share with people you respect and trust most.
See that? So that's what gave me. So when Aaron just said he shared with people close to him and his family, and then he regretted it. He said it's almost better just to talk to a stranger because there is no presupposition, there is no judgment automatically. They don't come from the same circumstance with the same expectations. So, and I'm not sure. And now when people are tapering what they're sharing, what's the yield? And see, that's the problem with a stranger, because a stranger can't hold you accountable to the same extent or tell you lying. But also the stranger has the opportunity to be more objective.
Mm-hmm.
While people, it's going to be very difficult for them. And so now it's like, what's the balance? And if you have to taper what you're sharing, you're not going to be successful. It's like a catch-22, I guess.
Yeah.
You know? Go ahead, Ms. What you think?
Yeah, I think it's a definitely a thing to where there's a science to it. I do believe there's certain cues and things that we can actually tie to behavior, and there are certainly signs. They give us training and stuff on this as to where a person that may be thinking about it. So I think there's something to therapy and psychology, but like Aaron said, it's extremely individualistic, right? There isn't us, all three of us, right, can have the same exact issue, but need to be approached totally different and have totally different therapists. I don't think people understand that, right? And people actually use the shit. I'm glad they use it as you need therapy, nigga. That's an insult. So if you see somebody that has, some type of issue or problem, and then you insult them with seeking out help to fix it, how, how apt are they to do that if you're making it like a sign of weakness or a sign of like weird and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I just think if you're to the point, oh shit.
The hell was that?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Bro, nigga, the damn lightning just hit something. That's on my damn camera shit. But goddamn, hold on.
It sounded.
Oh wow, your sound is
like
good.
a transformer.
Yeah, that shit. Damn, just hit something. But yeah, man. If you're to that point, I definitely say seek professional help, and don't tell the people you love, bro, because the women, especially, because they're gonna see you different. People, and that's another part of where it's catch-22 HAMP. You're the strong, stoic, can take anything guy. Now all of a sudden you need therapy. Now all of a sudden you having a mental breakdown. Now all of a sudden that. So I think that's again, we become our own worst enemies in that thing, because you got to hold up your image and your facade for what you are for the people around you that depend on you. So you're willing to suffer that for the sake of just that bravado that Aaron was mentioning earlier, like, the pride and ego.
Yeah. Yeah, no, real shit. I think of myself. Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, no, shout out to Fantastic, man. You're absolutely right. And that's one thing I left out. You have to know the difference between when you're in crisis and when you're not, and you're just kind of maintaining the status quo of mental health, right? And he's right. When you're like on the verge or when you're having thoughts, there's a different way to treat that altogether. You should seek people that are professionally trained to deal with that, because that's a very acute circumstance, and it's going to be approached very differently and very aggressively. If you deal with that with the people that you believe are closest to you, I think the chances of making it worse could be greater, because somewhere in there could be the reason why you're there to begin with. What I was more or less saying was just kind of maintaining a balanced and healthy perspective of life, you know what I mean, by seeking counsel with those among you who you feel as though it's worth seeking counsel. But once you reach critical mass, different story. Therapy absolutely can be effective, 100%.
Yeah. No, 100%, man. Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to show y'all something.
Your sound is out. Can you hear him? Fantastic.
Me?
Oh, you're in now.
Yeah, he was just leaning off. He was just leaning off.
I wasn't talking loud.
Okay.
Yeah, man, that's interesting, Aaron. It's like that part, right? Because I was looking for terminology. In crisis, what is our response in crisis? Can we properly identify? Let me read this. Aaron will tell us, it's not till you crash out do they understand. There was one thing, right? If we I'll start, right? Y'all don't have to start in the same thing I'm starting on, but just to am I low? I'm good now,
No,
right?
you're perfect. You're perfect.
I'm talking low,
Well,
But-
Fantastic sounds high to me then. If he's perfect, you might have your volume up. Fantastic.
Yeah, probably check.
No, you're loud and clear. HAMP is the one that sounds low on my end.
He clear on mine.
I gotta be.
That's good. Whatever you did.
Oh, I turned the echo on. I'm good now.
Perfect.
Yeah. Check.
All right. So, in crisis, man, like it's something. It said like Dak mentions it in a song too. But in crisis, I'm trying to think of a time, right? Because when I say, okay, I gotta try something, right? Even though I'm not a proponent, I'm pretty skeptical overall. When my son was born, he had a lot of complications, and that shit, because I'm like, damn, I could have done so much shit differently in my head, at least, and then they ask you a question, right? They say, like, when you go to therapy thing, they be like, do you have these thoughts? They say you have suicidal thoughts. Nah. They say, and they ask you, do you have homicidal thoughts? I'm like, wait, is that a trick question? Because this big chug right now, right? You know what I'm saying? But, when he was born, like he stopped breathing, a whole lot of stuff, By the grace of the Most High, he better than ever, But like, yeah, motherfucker. That I'm trying not to do some, you know what I mean? Like, it just like they start off with those questions. But you know what it was too? You blame yourself too. Like y'all was saying, right? And it's your family and you responsible, you know. But it's a whole bunch of doctors there, a whole bunch of everything there, you know. And but as a man, as a father, you like, I could have said something, did something, stopped them from doing XYZ, trying this, etc. You know, like he was born, they try to bring him out breached. So feet first. And he a twin. So his sister came out before him. It's just like a situation where you wouldn't even do it. It's already high risk, you know? And as a father, you could say something. That's what you're thinking. And every day that shit bother you. Every single day. You know what I'm saying? Then they ask you, are you homicidal? You goddamn right. The sky blue. And you can't process it by yourself. So that shit just like different. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, what's crisis? How do you identify crisis as a man? Or do we try to suck everything up, pause, and then, you know, people are going to the fullest extent, using that hammer on themselves and shit like that?
Well, I mean, the professionals have criteria that they use to identify crisis. And so one of the codes, two of the codes here in Pennsylvania are 302 and 201. 302 is where you commit someone, and 201 is where you voluntarily commit yourself, right? And there are certain criteria that you have to fill out. They have to have shown action, or there has to be like imminent probability of harm to themselves or others. And again, I'm not the professional here, but there's criteria that are used to delineate crisis from not being in crisis. I think the question really that you're asking, or at least should be more important, is how can one identify that for themselves before it's too late, right? That's the part that's difficult because we can't all be mental health professionals to take the class to understand these crisis criteria. But when you're in it, even if you were, are you in the state of mind to be able to identify it and deal with it? And I would submit the answer is no. So it's very, very difficult. But again, I think that it depends on the community you have around you to be able to spot these things and act in your best interest on your behalf when you're approaching a point where you can't.
Yeah. No, real shit.
You know?
This one thing. Go ahead, Ms. Vincent.
Nah, I was gonna say, especially when your family's involved, man. Anything to where you know that provision and that protection thing comes in, and you feel like you came up short. That's some of the hardest times, man, for real. And I think that's another thing too. We talk about the pressures. It's usually external, not internal, right? It's a lot of, hey, this is depending on me. This is depending on me. This is depending on me, and I'm not where I need to be. So what do? Right? So instead of just face that failure, hey, you know. But yeah, that homicidal one is always a trick bag, man. Okay, don't tell them people, right? At least not your job. That's something you can tell them, and it's just like, hey, it's nobody in particular. You can't put no names on it because you put names on it, now they got to report you. Okay, and they're gonna put you in that love me jacket, and probably gonna have an overnight stay somewhere. So
love yourself jacket.
Yeah,
and jacket have you hugging yourself.
What you ever had?
Aaron with the $5 is him. The way you used to say you don't believe in this stuff is what we hear. But with you, I know if we spoke, you would listen and care. Not everyone, not you. Well, yeah, I try to care. Yeah, and the thing is, I'm talking about I know people going through shit, and that shit is hard. I'm just saying a lot of these different diagnoses and things of that nature. I just was feel people weren't processing through once they were given a banner, you know, of a diagnosis of like depression and such, you know. But that shit. So there's one thing that we talk about a lot, right? And I'm almost thinking, is this backfiring? Because when we talk about stoicism, I think it's misconstrued, you know? And Aaron talks about practicing stoicism. It's more than just not overt reaction, you know? But stoicism is like men should be stoic, but you have to know what that means. When does it apply? What does it apply to? Right? So I stay pretty calm, especially when foolish stuff is happening or people are firing, you know? But there are times in my head where I'm like, I would slap the shit out you if you were standing in front of me, right? And we'll see what happened after that. Now I'm wondering the people who aren't stoic in that way, right? Who will let like Mr. Fantastic. If you go low with Mr. Fantastic, he going there, period. Is he free because of that? Does he have less stress? Is he bothered by less things because just for sake of conversation, he's less stoic? Is he unburdened by being able to nigga what? Fuck out of here! I'm like right, Aaron. Like I'm just processing this shit for real. Like you get that shit off, that's it. You know.
If you ever want to learn the art of fuck it, holla at Fantastic, man. You know what I mean? Your first lesson is free. I love me. Goddamn. Again, man, him. I think we all three of us talk about this, bruh. It's about true confidence, right? And it's like whatever you say to me, bro. As long, hey, I can go however you want to do it. All right, motherfucker. I can be water. I can be rock. I can be wind. I can be fire. I can be what the fuck. However you want to handle this, we can handle this, bro. And like you said, if you ain't laughing, you ain't living, man. I think HAMP, I didn't see it. But the thing you was talking about, I told you this, bro. HAMP, we get 85% of our adulthood, HAMP, are just grinding, working. Usually for somebody else, not even your own shit, right? And then you might get the last 10 of your years of your life to enjoy. That's you know what I'm saying. If you did everything right, you feel me? If you did, put into the 401k, if you made investments, if you bought property, if you set yourself up, and then you can't enjoy that shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. You're tired. You're taking naps 2 times a day. You know what I'm saying. The shit you want to eat, you can't eat no more. So yeah, man, I think a lot of people make it to that point, and that's why I say, man, and Aaron know they tell you, hey, work hard, play hard. That's one of the things. That's why them people get them little 4 days off that boat. A lot of motherfuckers get in trouble because hey, I done spent 30 on this motherfucker, so now I got to make up for 30 days of fun I know I'm not finna have over the next days in 4. Right now, of course, in moderation and be smart, but again, I think people, men especially, we don't know how to balance the work-life balance, as they say. And you gotta work stuff into your routine, man. Gym, if you a gamer, game. If you just want to go fucking hiking or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You want to do some white boy shit. Okay, I wouldn't suggest it, on the weekly, but maybe once every quarter. You know what I'm saying? Want to get your hang glide or your skydive or whatever that may be.
Hey, easy.
Hey, man, do what you got to do, but you definitely got to start enjoying life a whole lot earlier, man. And I think that's what it is. I think it's a lack of enjoyment of life. You feel me? In a healthy way, of course, in that balance, and then growing within that, so you can have that stress release. You can have that relief valve.
Yeah, no, you definitely right. This is what I found at like the most stressful times. So if I go do something I like, it's relief. But I'm not gonna hold you. It's almost like a band-aid over a bullet wound. Because you get a moment of solace. Like hitting a bag. They got those places where you could break shit and all that. And playing football, even. Like it's peaceful, and that seems oxymoronic. you know. But when it come natural to you, you'd be surprised how peaceful it is. But then when you get outside of it, that shit's still there. Because I wonder if we actually dealing with it, you know? And the dealing part is the thing I'm most concerned about. But because Miss Fantastic is right, you need those reliefs when life pressures are getting there, right? Because that shit ain't going nowhere, you know? So boom, you go play whatever you do, golf, whatever, right? Like he said. Because that's just life. Like you tired of motherfuckers talking, right? You at work and shit like that. Boom, you go get your shit off, drink. But now there's a thing that's actually bothering you though, that you got to deal with, make an adjustment for. Those same stress relievers don't remedy those. And I think that that's what's being glossed over when we have people taking extreme op solutions, so to speak.
Well, I think it's when that happens, I think it's a misused opportunity to deal with. So when we seek these releases, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't use the release to find a way to deal with what led you there, then you're practicing what I call escapism.
Yeah.
You're escaping it, and you're going to go right back to it. Like when I drive, for example, sports cars, the first thing I do is just settle into the drive, settle into the car, settle into the drive, and just realize I'm doing what I love.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm alone. Now I'm thinking about things in life, and a lot of people might go, well, you're just inviting the poison that drove you to drive into the drive and ruining the drive. No, I'm processing things. I'm putting things into perspective, doing something that I love doing. And if that shit gets too poisonous or in the way of the drive, then I'll speed up, which means my focus, my attention has to be on the drive more, and I'll get rid of those thoughts. But then if I slow down and kind of enjoy the scenery, I can put life back into perspective. And what I end up doing is enjoying the fact that I even have the opportunity to do this. And this serves as my reward for dealing with those other things. Even things that won't go away, those are my responsibilities. Life isn't perfect, right? There's rain and then there's sunshine for a reason. You know what I mean? Like the warmth and cold are that way for a reason, to make you appreciate the other when you have too much of one. So now I put that into perspective. When I go out into the world, all right, I got to deal with this, but I know one day I'm going to be able to go take another drive. And I'm working this hard to maintain my ability to self-reward and take another drive. Same thing with the catharsis of the people seek when they, when you were saying about fantastic will get with you real quick, whereas I just kind of will shut up. Seeking catharsis to me is effective for those who need it. For me, I don't need it. Stoicism for me comes easy because once you go to a place where you're practicing ad hominems, to me, that means you lost the fight. And I'm not going to get into a game of playing the dozens with you because now I got to win at that game. I already won the game. That's why you over there playing the dozens. Now I see you as beneath me. So it's easy to be stoic because now you're punching at the fourth grade level. You've left, right, college level thinking. But not everybody can do that, and I understand that. Not everybody has their perspective. But what you do with your catharsis should benefit you. And that's why I always say it's about not letting escapism be your crutch, but being effective in finding your own solution for yourself, whether it's a therapy, however you do that, it's up to you because you live your own life.
Oh, real. That's real. So let me read it real quick. There's only one. Dre with the 10 ounces. Appreciate the positive topic. Pound community shit. Yeah, man. Speaking of that, man, get your tickets to DC. That shit gonna be amazing. Aaron with the $5 says HAMP. Wait, oh no, I read this one right. Yeah, I read this one. Like, share, subscribe. I thought I missed one. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Elijah, you get on camera, I'll bring you up, Playboy. So, I think they really think that we over exaggerate this, right? The suffering in silence, the fact that people really don't appreciate it in your own household, right? People try to equate what you do And so like just fuck it, right? Like I pay all the bills, right? We got mad bills, nigga. You know? And it's just a part of life, right? Wherever that money come from is coming from. These motherfuckers go to swimming, soccer, fucking instruments, all types of shit. And maybe they don't have to. Y'all check me on this if I need to be checked. Don't nobody say thank you for nothing. Not when we go out to eat, none of that shit. And I don't say nothing, but you notice it. I'm just asking. I'm talking about myself. And before anybody try to say, oh, most men don't pay all the bills. We ain't talking about them then. We just talking about me. Fuck. You know what I'm saying? It just like are they supposed to say thank you? Or is it just a job?
Nah, man. They give employee of the month at McDonald's, my nigga. You know what I mean? For fries and can I take your order?
It's true.
You know what I mean?
My daughter just got second grade student of the month.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. And so let me clarify, right? So if I give the kids something, right, they say thank you. You see what I'm saying? Not like that. But I'm saying like nobody say, Daddy, thank you for like bringing us to dinner. You know what I mean? Like that type of shit.
How old's your oldest?
16.
16. So yeah, so she, you know what I mean?
She might. I'm not saying that. I'm being a little bit, but you know, but no.
I got you. So this is what I'm saying, right? So kids don't even understand the depth of like comfortability, right? They don't understand like privilege, right? And you have to point it out to them because if that is something they never experienced. If they ain't never had the lights turned off in their house, they ain't never went to the refrigerator and it was empty. How can they, you know, it's standard. You feel me? So they don't understand, especially like you saying, you know, in my situation, like, hey, my son, like I said, this little nigga got, I'll say, enough shoes in his 1 year that it took me to get in like all my high school years and 4 years of high school. You feel me? And it's and you know it's brand new, not no motherfucking, you know, basic shit. Like, you know what I'm saying, he grown man foot size now. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I just think, man, like you said, men are taken for granted from everybody, to the kids, to the wife. Listen, I say this and people think it's fucked up. Hey, baby, thank you for not whooping my ass. Okay, thank you for being a non-abusive man, because they are certainly out here. All right, and I know that I can, you know, get out of pocket sometimes, and I can be aggravating and so on and so forth, and you ain't never motherfucking black my eye because of, you know what I'm saying, using a bad move. Just little things like that. The benevolence that men have, man, is so forsaken. The benevolence and consideration, all the sacrifice and all the shit we do. Not saying that women don't do it too, right? But the shit that men do, nobody, you know what I'm saying, it's just it's an expectation, like you said, Hamp. It's expected. And it only gets said, it only gets brought up when you're not doing it. It only gets taught if hey, you can't pay for this, it's an issue, or we don't got enough money for that, it's an issue, or you can't make time for that, it's an issue. So yeah, man, I think things would be a whole lot better if the men were you know, celebrated and appreciated. And like Aaron said, shit, listen, I ain't getting no goddamn socks and white beaters on motherfucking Sunday. I can tell you that. I can tell you that shit nah.
Yeah, I understand it. I think it was a good question. Do I say thank you? So I would say, as of recent being maybe consistently, but like I've been making it a point to say thank you for things that are taken for granted. You know, like, what did my wife do? Something she did something with the kids or something. It might have been just like a day I was streaming on the nighttime, and I had to do a bunch of shit before it. So The kids get home like 5:30, 6 o'clock, and she put them in the bed, right? Regular shit. I mean, but I just said thanks for that. It ain't hurt me none. Thanks for making my plate. It hurt me none. So I'm thinking you lead by example.
No, 100%. When you said that, it just dawned up. When my wife cooks, same. Thanks for dinner, babe. Your plate's in the microwave. You know, I'm out late, or I'm on here. She'll hook up my lunch. You know what I mean? Whatever. Just like you. But thanks for that. It's uber important, bro. Yeah.
Well, it's gratitude.
Yeah.
And gratitude is so
Elijah, we
important.
can't see you. Hey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. I'm a Fed employee, so I can't show my face, but can I be on?
No. I think that's one of the rules on this might be risky. Everybody got to be on camera so I can see the background, but we can't see you. Why don't you put a ski mask on?
Ski mask?
A lot of people work for the Fed. I lived in DC. I know a lot of Feds. You'd be all right.
No, I got a high level job, so
That's what they all tell me, Elijah.
no, I don't tell you, I live it.
One dude told me that he was a cook.
No, I'm
at the Pentagon.
No, I'm a psychotherapist.
Yeah, we want to hear the perspective, but yeah, we just everybody gotta be on camera. You got like a COVID mask or something?
No, I don't have a COVID mask.
No, Shiesty, you and that brother, they ain't got you in a good hotel, brother. They got you in the background. You see them curtains over there, brother. It's like
he on the stakeout.
Yeah, this nigga, hey, he might be for real. This nigga is motherfucking investigate.
Bad hotels have curtains. Come on, man.
they got the one that it feel like paper, but it's up there.
Yeah, we see the little floral lining up on the side there, brother. We see,
Can you see your screen, Elijah?
Yeah.
He can't. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
I have a T-shirt right here. All right, this is a T-shirt. I'm gonna go in the bottom, and come out the top. This is the hole. Take the sleeve and tie it around the back.
Man,
tie it to the Marines, man.
Now,
damn, that worked great.
Now we can swing swords like Shinobi.
Holy shit!
You look like a Muslim sister.
Yeah, Eli, I apologize, but yeah, we just got to keep it consistent, man.
But yeah, it's a sniper technique. You know what I mean? Like whenever you need quick concealment, take your skivvy shirt, do the ninja shit.
Man,
T-shirt.
That ain't no good rule. You miss out on the blessing.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, if you could do something, we gotta see your eyes or something. You know what I mean?
Eyes.
Yeah, we gotta be able to see. Everybody gotta present, man. Yeah, that's one rule we have. More so.
You can present verbally. How about? Okay, now I'm good.
Nah, we can't see. I can't. It's like I'm being. Nah.
I'm good now.
Yeah, Elijah, you gotta get on camera, man. I'll give you 60 seconds to add your 2 cents, and I'm gonna drop you down.
Oh man, 60 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
The subject is suicide.
Whatever you got 60 seconds for.
Oh man, come on. Y'all keep the shows low level, man.
Man, now he throwing. Mr. Williams, what's poppin', man?
What's up, y'all? What's good?
What's good? Hold on, let me read this. So, rules for the 24. No HAMP hour. Thank you. Is our kids doing well in school, being respectful to the parents and people outside, and actually taking advantage of the position we put them in? They tell you thank you the time. Oh, at that time. Okay. That's what I was saying, Truth. I was asking genuinely, right? Because it's something I notice, you know. So I just wondering, right? Because there'd be times where you just like, damn, you know, you get it. Like we go to you know, the Chinese, the what's the steakhouse, right? You know, where they cook the shit in front of you. What the fuck?
Hibachi.
Yeah,
Hibachi.
right.
That's Japanese, you racist.
Oh, I mean, same. You know what I mean, and they, you know, and we get whatever, right? We don't eat like shrimp and shit like that, so my bill don't be too crazy. But everybody gets steak. That's for damn sure. And I'll be looking, you know, or we go to the motherfucking what's the other shit that they be doing?
What's that?
It's like a hot pot and a grill. You seen that before?
Oh yeah. That's you talking about. That's the Korean barbecue.
Yeah,
Korean barbecue and
so, you know,
shabu. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That they be, you know what I'm saying? They
the A5 Wagyu and all this other shit.
Man, we be having all type kid just everybody just full as a tick. And then here's the fly shit. I drive. I drive. Everybody sleep. They get slobbing. I'm pumping gas. I'm doing.
It's raining. You went to go get the car, bring it to valet, all this other shit. Yeah.
You know, but like I said, you know, like Taru said, right? Just in terms of the topic, yo, it's duty, it's responsibility. It is what it is, right? But then you got men absorbing a lot of shit, feeling away about a lot of shit. You know, a nominal number to Mr. Fantastic's point, but we overrepresent 85% when men deleting themselves. Men die a little bit earlier. So there has to be more substantive. We understand it's duty, and we're not saying we're gonna stop doing anything we doing. But what do we need to assess to get better outcomes for men in terms of mental health and shit like that?
No, I think like you said, I think it's what Aaron said, right? Know yourself, right? I know it sounds real and it sounds typical and, you know, stereotypical and bullshit, right? But you really have to be in tune with yourself, bro. You got to know, like, once you're getting off kilter, right? You don't want to do none of the shit you want to do no more. The shit that was fun is no longer fun anymore. You know what I'm saying? You're sad, you're quote unquote depressed. And a lot of the times, man, you know what I'm saying, you'll get in these lows, right? And you don't know what it is at first, but you have to be like doing that the physical and like the more introspective look in the mirror on the daily. You feel me? You know what I mean? If you catch that 5 pounds before it become 25, you know what I'm saying, you're a whole lot better off, and you can, you know what I mean, that's less work you got to do.
Yeah.
It's even more critical, I think, when we're talking about mental health and, you know, emotional stability, because, you know, finding out that thing and getting that help early is a whole lot better than trying to recoup from something that's you off in the deep end.
Yeah. No, real shit. What's up, Mr. Williams? What's goody? Mahogany, what's up?
Hey, what's up with y'all?
What's going on, man? We just talking
This
this
is a hell of a topic.
Yeah, and now I just want to say this before Mr. Williams talk his shit, right? Every time we be productive, there's always a difference. I'm just gonna say it like that. Go ahead, Mr. Williams. You got the floor.
I just want to say, when it comes to men's mental health,
You got a delay. You got the floor. Yeah, you got a delay, but you got the floor.
I think, sorry about the delay. It's storming here, so I don't know what's going on.
Okay, shit.
Just the mental aspect of a man. I feel like sometimes we can go 100 miles an hour, and you just burn out instead of like taking the time to really like self-assess. And you do need to have an outlet, and you should talk to someone, whether it's your circle or anything. We hold so much in, especially when you have a lot of responsibilities. And sometimes we just keep going, man, and until you burning the candle at both ends. And I went through that in 2020 and 2021, and I just really had to really assess myself, and I had to get therapy because I knew it was just gonna be bad for me. I had battled with depression off and on in my life. I did try to self-delete at one point in time when I was younger in my life. It's no joke, man, when you're depressed and you hold that in, you need to find someone to talk to. Someone. It's the hardest thing for us to do as men is to open up and really be weak and vulnerable because we know what comes with it. Some people will throw that in your face, but I think we still have to be able to do it anyway, just to let it out, to vent it out. But I do recommend find a therapist and find a therapist that fits what you're looking for help. But you have to remember, you have to be totally honest with them if you really want the help. And I'm done. I don't want to talk to them.
I got you. Matt P with the 10 says, y'all can save the I don't need love or appreciation from the people I take care of. This my family, keyword my. I created my immediate family. I'm damn sure going to enjoy it. Damn, hold on, there's another one. Oh, Gun with the $2 says, take your high level self back to work. Get him out of here. Yo, even when I said when he said, can I be on camera? The whole chat was like, or off camera, the whole chat was like, nope. The black male feminist with the $2 says, black men rank last in mental health utilization for men. So is that saying, what is that saying, I guess, right? And see, this is where I like to assess, right? I understand the comment, and then I look at suicide rates, right? Because it's a straightforward qualifier, right? So when we look at it, like you said, the Native Americans are first, white men are second, black men, Hispanic men, Asian men, in terms of suicide rates. And I know a whole lot more goes into mental health, right? So I'm not saying, but it's just an easier qualifier to kind of discern.
Yep. But,
so if
just Sam, this is the weird thing, right? So this is my problem with male feminists, right? Again, in a moment to where this is clearly something to where, if a brother may need help, we got a nigga trying to denigrate when clearly, like you said, we are not affected the most by this at all, even though it's men. And for the gross numbers, 77% of just total, not rate, not whatever, volume, are white men. Okay, so white men lead by volume. This is not a black man's issue or problem for real, right? It's a man issue. But saying that we utilize mental health the least, clearly where I think this would be the most suitable case of where it's needed, right, would correlate with self-deletion numbers. Clearly, you know what I'm saying? It's not that, and it's some, just like when we talk about the college numbers, it's something that all men don't do. Okay, it's something that all men don't do, and I find it very, very hard to believe that black men utilize it even less than Native Americans, who are poorer and have smaller numbers. So I don't know why we shooting at us black men today when clearly, like, again, that's just propaganda and rhetoric.
Yeah, so that's what I want to just clarify. It's due to the male feminist says, but it's good to know, to understand that it's a problem. Well, I guess the point is, well, is it though? So if you have these other groups of men who utilize it more, yet lead in these particular categories, what does that say about the services that are being rendered? Is it effective? Is it ineffective? What do we actually need to be doing? Is therapy the answer? Right? Because we know white men go, but yet and still the numbers you could argue essentially that is ineffective. If you wanted to have a discourse about it, you could use their numbers and leverage the fact that this is not helpful, right? Just keep, just being genuine about it, And so the male feminists, I think the key is don't even differentiate. Let's have the conversation. That way, if you keep it on men, then men will take heed. The moment you say, oh, well, the Asians ain't doing it, now the Asian men stop listening. Or, well, white men do go to therapy a lot and they killing themselves left and right. Now black men stop listening. See, that ain't us. So now if we just group it as men see what we need to assess, I think more, people be listening up, just in terms of breaking it down. Mahogany, salute. Where you been at? Salute to Mahogany in the building. Good to see you. Who gifted 5 memberships, man. Whoever got blessed with one, please say thank you and welcome to the family. Please maintain it. Aaron with the $2. How much depression affect the gangs in our hoods? The black male feminist with the $2. Black men need to stop being so defensive about self-help.
That's bullshit.
You want to respond to this?
Yeah. See, that's part of the problem. That right. Why not ask the question, why be so defensive? Why you're just going straight to what black men need to do. Look at the word defensive. That is a self-protective word, to defend oneself, about self-help. And you're telling them the man needs to lower his sense of self-defense? What are we talking about here? Why not, if you really cared about any kind of useful therapy and progressive advice giving, you must first ask the question, what makes you so defensive about self-help? If you really gave a shit, rather than just going straight to what I need to do. And I'm not talking about this from my perspective. I'm talking about this from the perspective of the man that would be defensive about self-help. Why is this your approach? This is exactly what led him there. This kind of treatment and thinking.
Damn. The male feminist with the $2. Like William said, everyone go to therapy. Yeah, I'm not sure, right? You say you proved his point. No, I think he was speaking abstractly, right? As he prefaced it. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about the therapy thing, just because, like Aaron, like we were talking about, you don't know him, you can fool him. How transparent are you going to be? Are you going to make sure that you have every conversation as though you were the victim or you were the hero? Right. So I just wonder, what is the effective rate of it? Who can you fool? How can it help? How much help do you want?
That's a number worth extrapolating. The efficacy of treatment and because that'll kind of tell you what direction to go to figure out if it's useful for you or how to make it more useful. That's uber important. I'm glad you asked that question, and it should be rhetorical for everybody to try and find the answer to. That will help us get to the solution to all of this much quicker. So yeah, no, shout out to you for that, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Sis is a therapist too. And she said people are very transparent. Yeah, maybe. But that's just always my question, though.
Yeah. Like you said, maybe. I don't know. I'm not qualified, but I just see it as a possible obstacle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you.
Do you guys think vulnerability should be normalized?
Conditionally.
So no.
Yeah,
it's gotta be I can only say the situation. I mean, it's situation to me.
It's another good question. Yeah.
Yeah, and
you forcing a sum.
Double edged.
How you do anything is how you do everything, right?
That's what what I'm saying. So Hamp, you're
No,
you're doing a
you
great
can't do
job.
it.
But now, Hamp, you're doing a great job at pretty much displaying bruh, the complexity of manhood. I don't think people like we just, you know what I mean? We don't even see it as that. Hey, get shit done. I got something to get done, get it done. We not motherfucking even worried about, okay, well, damn, I gotta go here, I gotta be here on time, I gotta consider traffic. Then when I get there, I gotta get here. I'm gonna need these materials. Okay, I got this window to do this. Then I got something else that's gotta be did too in the same day. Hell, we literally, bro, on some just hey robot shit, bro. Is men are goal, you know what I'm saying? Goal center, goal objective, right? So only thing you're really worried about is, hey, I got to get this done. I don't want to be, you know what I mean, this shit to come back on my reputation of me being, you know, fucking a slacker or a failure or any of this other shit or not being able to be dependent on, right? Right? So I'm going to get it done to build up my reputation and to, you know what I mean, hold my end of the deal as a man. People just see the end result, huh? Even us a lot of the time. Then
Yeah.
you go back and you look at it. It was like, remember you showed the thing where the guy was he had the I think it was like solder or something in his hand or the wire, and the lady joked with him. This motherfucker's really in a fucking, you know, 20 years of his life in a role or some shit that he was doing, you know, on a project, and a woman makes a joke about it, and it's just like, fuck this shit, bitch, I'm out. You
Yeah.
feel me?
Yeah, that yeah. And they do content. I think we followed up on it, but the reel in itself was, you know, right there. and I you know, I'm having this conversation and I'm trying to be like as transparent as we can, right? To just assess these different things. Cause I want to know if it's crybaby shit. We got this Amazon thing, right? It's one of the like, it's like, you know, the Amazon Alexa, whatever. But
Yeah.
they got like a bigger screen on it and shit. Like almost like an iPad screen. And it spins if you talk to it and shit like that. And it's hooked to, we have this like a family Amazon account. So if I look at something a lot up there, it will say, hey, have another look. Like, you know, your suggestions on this big ass screen, mind you. And it was, my wife was getting me something for something. She, you know what she said? I ain't know what to get you. I said, I'll be goddamn, nigga. I walk by that screen every day and it got Clito Reyes boxing gloves on that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And you just kind of be looking like, okay. But you know, you mentioned the hairdryer. I got same day delivery on that bitch though. Maybe I'm being a crybaby. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, is it just like the process? Like, you know, like it I guess it goes along with like the socks and underwear thing. Yeah. Is that just the job? Like what are we saying, right? And how does this affect a man mentally, if at all, essentially?
The fact that you can laugh at it and have the conversation with this levity speaks to your testicular fortitude, which is a rare thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with expecting or asking for a little reciprocity. No, 100%. Right? What else are we here for but for each other? But I think it's something to be learned from and something to try to attain, if possible. Your level of self-resolve and self-confidence, right? But that's not something to try to achieve if it's not for you or if you're not there, and that you have to move a different way. But that doesn't exonerate anyone from reciprocity at the end of the day, is what I'm saying. That's reasonable to say. You know what I mean?
And I'm just looking at things, because you know, like you know this. I'm sure you guys know this. So I'll be talking to the crowd, and I gotta ask Ms. Williams a question too. Death by 1,000 cuts. You heard that before?
Ah, yes.
And I don't know. I think people think it's an exaggeration, but it's absolutely true. If you have too many non-life-threatening injuries, you will die. because your body can't fight everything at once.
Right.
So too many non-life threatening issues, you will die.
Yep.
And I'm saying that in hyperbole, but to say those things where, you know, you be like, damn, like you ain't see the gloves up there. Like you didn't, they gold too. Like they, you know, like you didn't see this. Nobody said thank you. Da, da, da. You know, and it's just thinking about it. Right. And it just, all this stuff piles up and the motherfucker's like, why am I so grouchy? Nothing happened. Why do I feel away? Nothing extreme happened. Because again, I'm simply trying to walk down the logic of dying earlier, suicidal thoughts, right? Feeling a way about everything, what the reason is. And so I'm presenting things anecdotally that I bet we can extrapolate to a lot of men to say, okay, what's happening? Now, Mr. Tarus, what up, my brother?
How you doing?
You ain't walking around today? You chilling? You in the house today?
It's raining outside, man. Yeah.
Oh, all right, but I don't think I ever seen you inside unless it's raining. Usually,
Yeah,
be
it's nice outside, man. Hey, that's therapy for me. You know what I mean? But yeah, how y'all doing, guys?
Property. Good. Truth, you got the mic. I just want to ask Mr. Williams a question, and I ain't trying to slow it down because we having it in a light way, you know. But Mr. Williams said he attempted that shit though. And I know we all heard it. So I want to say first and foremost, I apologize for maybe not stopping right then and there. I was kind of processing. But that's pretty heavy. And I don't know what that thought process is like, but maybe I do. I just never identified it as, yo, how real was that shit for me? If I ain't know which way was up, I ain't want to get a haircut. Da-da-da, fuck it. Nigga, it is what it is. Like, what does that mean? So, Mr. Williams, if you don't mind, can you walk us through it, you know, as superficially as possible? And I don't even know if that's the thing, honestly. But,
in 2001, I was taking on a lot of responsibilities. My parents were getting, especially my mom was getting sick off and on, and then I was married. I was trying to deal with sibling situations. I was just taking on too much, and my grandmother close with had passed away, and she was 102, but she was a mother figure for me. I was just taking on so much and having so many responsibilities that I put on myself, that I just felt like I couldn't handle it anymore, and something broke in me. And it was kind of like those moments when you're a kid and you feel like, wait a minute, I'm doing all of this, and I feel like I'm doing it the right way, and it's not working. And I did attempt it, and I'm glad I failed. And so that's gave me the reason why I can come to other men and mentor and do all of this to, let's have these conversations. Let's have the difficult conversations, the tough conversations, the kind that, you know, us men, we can really talk about and it stays there, but we get to get that shit off our chest. We get to get that weight lift off our shoulders, and we don't have to just bottle that in. And then moving forward, I dealt with my depression a little bit different after my dad passed in 2020, but I still felt like I was going to crash out. But I wasn't going to hurt myself. I was going to hurt others. And so I had to do it again, and I really had to tell the truth of how I was feeling. And I actually found the right therapist, and it will trip you out. She was a white woman, but she was the blackest white woman I've ever met. She just understood it. She took her job serious. And that's when I found out I was diagnosed with adjustment disorder. I was adapting to everyone else's situations and keeping all of mine in. And that's where the lash outs come at. Even if you're not even having to attack someone else, but you're hurting yourself in the long run. And I knew something was wrong when I had drank 360 days out of a year. Yes. I was only sober for one day. And I was just doing things excessive to myself. And I had to get the help. And it worked. And then, like they told me, voice what's on your mind. Say what's in your heart or what have you. There's nothing wrong with it. The people that do that, if somebody's throwing the shit back in your face, guess what? Those are the wrong people to be around. Find someone else. Whether it's one of your friends, a cousin, it could be anybody, But if you can find a strong man that you know that you may, just have respect for, and you have that, open up to him. What was that, 2 or 3 months ago? One of my friends deleted himself. He was grieving over his mom. He had just lost his mom a month later.
Yeah. Damn. Mr. Williams, Callie and I, in truth, you got it. I just wanted it because he just said something. Callie and I was talking one day. She was saying something to the effect of how she felt about it, even though she wasn't in full agreement. It was something. And so me and her was talking. I'm saying, yo, if people listen when you talk, you got to be decently responsible. I mean, you're never going to be perfect on it. But what the right answer was different from what she answered with. Does that make sense? So it's like, let's say I have advice, right, Tarus? I may have like a very unique response to a thing and it works for me. But if there's better sounding advice that can help more people, I would say that rather than the unique thing for me, because people are listening. So I'm saying that to say, I'm going to be more mindful of saying, fuck therapy. Because that's really what I probably would say for sure. But when I know that, okay, it's a possibility that Mr. Williams got help for it, there's no need for me to shit on it if it can help somebody not off themselves. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, put your man ears on.
Say again.
I say, yeah, putting your man ears on, right? So when you're saying that, you're saying fuck therapy, it's for your own personal thing and what works for you. But I think you give another great thing, Hamp, when you talk about it, right? The coaching experience, right? And as dads, we have to do that too, where like you got to push your son to the limit, but not too far, and always be willing and able to bring him back. You feel me? And I think that's something that we have to start employing with ourselves, when it comes to mental health and stability.
Yeah. No, real shit. Real shit. What shit? What's up, Tarus?
Yeah, man. This is a good conversation. I'm with definitely with William. Like, this is you can make this a positive conversation and real productive. And just to let you guys know, be open and honest, man. I'm on 4 different meds, like with my VA mental health. 5, depending on what the situation is going. And I've had to be on these meds since I was 27 this round, and I'm 37 now. I'll be 38 in August. Like, I've had to get therapy, bro, because I was not a functioning man. Right? And like, a lot of the time,
you said something, and I'm not in it. I've been saying, I've been interjecting, but y'all just saying, I think you said this first. I'm giving you credit for it. I don't know where you got it from, but I swear to God, I think I heard you say this. A man can make his house a something
sanctuary or a prison.
Yeah, something to that effect. You can make your house a sanctuary for you and a prison for everybody else. I think that's how you said it. Something like that. It was more poetic. So it wasn't that bullshit you just said. You said it better the first time. My bad for interjecting. I just go ahead.
But I mean, that's important, right? Because your mental health can positively and negatively affect everyone else in the household. Right? You can either be a star and everybody wants to be in your orbit, You could be a black hole and people are trying to escape, but they can't. Right? Do you want your home to be somewhere that you want people that it's easy for people to get out, but it's hard for people to get in? Or do you want it to be locked down like a prison where it's hard for people to leave, real easy for people to get in? And people got to, and I had to go through that journey, bro, because when I just got out the military in 2014, I was already going through like mental health things and like battles because of like the medical discharge and shit like that. And bro, it hits different when society tells you, fantastic. Maybe this is something you could relate to, Aaron too. But for me, when the VA rated me 100%, I felt broken as fuck because I was like, wait, I still got a lot in the tank, and society's like, nah, man, sit down.
That's
like at 27 years old, bro, that fucked with me hard. That wasn't something I looked forward to. Like in the military, HAMP, sometimes we do look forward as veterans being like, man, I'm going to get 40-50% for my knees or something like that. It's going to be good enough to cover rent while I'm looking for a job, going to school, all that kind of stuff. But when you 100%, and HAMP, what fucked me up was they didn't even make me wait the 5 years for permanent and total. I was 100% out the gate, PNT.
Can you expound on that, or is it something you got to keep? I don't know enough about it,
So like
the disability.
My 100% is from the combat PTSD. I don't want to go into like all what happened, but basically, like when you're dealing with that kind of stuff, bro, the transition will mess up veterans too, because you don't know how to operate in civilian world sometimes.
And can you tell us where you toured at?
Iraq twice.
Okay.
Yeah, my first one was 15 months. My second one was 12.
Yo, there's a movie, bro. It's called Warfare, and it's from a combat veteran, and he's the director and the producer, and it's only from what he remembers. So the take is like amazing, Yeah. I don't know if you watch that type. I know Aaron don't really watch a whole bunch of stuff, but it just popped in my head just based on what you said. But go ahead, because you got so right out the gate though.
Yeah. Like I mean, but I was already doing the mental health appointments while I was still in the military. You know what I mean? And so, but then that transition sucked because there's a lot of factors on the outside that goes into it. And my wife is from Germany, and so if you know anything about Europe, especially Western Europe, bro, healthcare, infrastructure, all that shit, it's a downgrade coming to the United States. You know what I mean? Like when I met her, she was making more than me. Like we don't make bread in the military. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm going through all this. I got to transition my wife, my children to another spot, bro. And like, dog, if I didn't ask for help, like if I didn't give myself that gut check and ask for help, because HAMP, everything I was doing on my own, swallowing my pride, was not working. It was making everything worse.
Damn.
Right? The more I tried to double down, like, nah, I'll figure this out on my own, I don't need any help, the worse it fucking got.
Yeah.
And I think William especially, he probably knows what that feel like, where it's like it gets to the point where it feels like every relationship, and I mean every relationship, HAMP, whether it's your marriage or with your kids or with your boss or with your colleagues or with your family members, your aunt, every relationship feels like it's failed. That's how you get to that point where you're like, man, it ain't worth it anymore.
Yeah.
Right. That's what getting to that self-deletion phase. It's like everything around you has failed. What's the point? Everyone's better off without me.
You had that feeling before, you said, right?
Unfortunately.
That shit is. Yo, you said something. I was gonna say something. Damn, I can't remember. It'll come back to me. But that's the thing. Like y'all are speaking and being transparent and real. And it's just like ain't nobody. So there's so many vets, right? But like Mr. Williams situation, things of that nature, y'all ain't doing nothing that people can't relate to. You see? It ain't like you doing no, I mean, obviously touring, not downplaying that, but just saying generally, like motherfuckers is just living and getting to this point. And that could be any one of us. I just want to make sure that it's understood.
So
go ahead.
Hamp, when I say my stuff, I've told you this before a while ago, but I'm just gonna repeat it again. I know I don't come up here a lot. I don't want to thank you for the service. I know I understand people respect it, but I just say it from my perspective so people could learn the easy way what I had to learn the hard way.
What's up,
right?
Sean?
That's it.
Yeah.
And so one of the things when you're going through therapy, Hamp, especially because you don't instantly, at least for the VA, you don't instantly get your therapist out the gate. They kind of throw you into, I guess, like an orientation, kind of just like a pool. And then they give you like these big ass binders full of information and everything like that. And then you slowly start trying to, okay, what kind of mental health treatment are you looking for? But in those binders, man, what happens is they're putting everybody's trauma in there, bro. And so, you know who also gets asked these questions with PTSD?
Who that?
People who grew up and they didn't get deployed at all, but they got raped. They got raped by their fellow soldier, and they got trauma from that. Or like they'll give these pamphlets to take it out the military. Unfortunately, men and women will get sexually assaulted or go through rape and grow up through that. They have PTSD, they have trauma. They have the same things I'm going through, just a different avenue.
Yeah.
Right. But see, one of the things that would screw me up and my therapist would get pissed off about is I would look at that and go, well, at least I made the choice to go in the Army. You get what I mean? Like I knew what the possibility was. Nobody asked to be in that environment, grow up. You lost the birth lottery. That wasn't supposed to happen. You know what I mean? That's why it's so different. And that's why I can relate to anybody, whether it's military or not.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah, there's a book. You guys may have read it, and I mentioned it a few times at this point. But Outliers, if you ever read that book, and circumstances really, really matter to Roos, and that's where empathy, right? And empathy works in ways in which different experiences cause the same emotions, and therefore the outcomes are, if not the same, very similar, right? To your point. And when we say like you could be Bill Gates, no, the fuck you can't. His two parents are programmers. They lived up the street from the school where they doing, computers and shit like that. And he had access. No, in fact, you can't be Bill Gates, right? Because things have to line up in a particular way, So what you said kind of just made that pop in my head. So that's solid, man. Mr. Chill Out, what's goody? Oh, were you done too? My bad. Not done, but like for that. Okay.
What's good, chat and panel squad. I like the topic today. I barely hop on, but when I like the topic, I'm hopping on. I think I'm gonna just shoot right in and say when you on survival mode for so long and living life, I think self-deletion comes into play because you feel so alone trying to climb out of a greasy barrel or greasy pole, pause, as anyone would say. Like you just ain't going nowhere, making no progress throughout life. And when you feel totally alone, you're going to crash out. And that might be crashing out on substance abuse. You might find yourself catching a domestic case or something worse just because the loneliness creeps in with intrusive thoughts. And then those things become reactive and responsive. And I think as men, we just need to talk, scream it out, cry it out. I think that it's normalized that men's supposed to hold things in and we're not human. And we are very much human, filled with emotions and things that we got to go through to the day-to-day basis. And holding those things in and self-imploding is the worst thing we could do. And that's what 95% of us end up doing, is thinking we could take on the problems of the world and everybody else's without no outlet or expression, which just becomes deadly. us and everything around us.
Yeah.
I think it's like that having 50 boxes of cereal and no milk.
Yeah.
We sometimes,
Wow.
worry about what we don't have and be grateful for what we should have. But we
Yeah.
also need to express that.
No, real shit. Real shit. And I just wonder, like, where is it safe, Mrs. Chill Out? When do you express it, would you say?
Lucky for me, I found good friends like Aaron and Maverick. To individuals who can hold that for you, with you, who've been through some things in life. I mean, I went through anger management. Believe it or not, you met me in person. So, like, even in my past, like, whatever, like, I had my own anger issues, but that was just me being alone, feeling alone, having a single mom, no dad around. You just be angry at the world, right?
Yeah.
And I had to go to therapy and talk it out. And I felt more comfortable there because it was not like your normal therapist. It was like a group session where the individuals in the room also had the same type of problems I had. So we were like bouncing off of one another, how our perspective was about how we were just going through the world, holding on to this anger.
Yeah.
So that helped. But then you have good close friends. And even like on this show here, we got to be semi-transparent. Thank you, DJ Hamp. Appreciate you to let us come out here and vent these things here to one another now. Even if it is semi-transparent, fully transparent, it's a platform to where as though we get to express ourselves as men understanding men. This is therapeutic. Who knows what I was going through last week, the week before I hopped on here to even start talking about this. It starts to release some energy of, depression or stress or whatever the case may be. It gives you an opportunity to at least see that you're not alone. Because I think a lot of times as men, we feel alone. Even if you're married up, shacked up, partnered up, when you're going through your issues, you don't want to burden your partner or wife with these issues because you already know there's a lot more shit going on in the house and the bills is coming down and the kids is crying. He just lost a tooth. You need a tooth fairy underneath. Like all this other bullshit is going on. And you like, I don't want to drop this on the plate because then, right, I agree with you what you said. Am I just bitching because you don't know I want these boxing gloves? Though I love boxing. I go 3 times out the week. But should you not notice that? Should you not? And then if I do say something, am I really bitching or am I just stating the obvious?
Yeah, no, real shit, bro. And I appreciate you, and I think that's why it's important for us to, like you said, to be as transparent as you can be without being foolish, But I think it's go ahead.
No, I feel some transparency, even if it's at the stake of being foolishness, is the way you fully get the help, especially amongst people you trust.
Sorry, I should have prefaced it with while we on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like you can, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I think, but I think it's important for if you are influential or the leader in this particular circumstance, right? So that would be me, obviously, right? So it's important that I at least bring these things to the table so we can talk about it. Because on YouTube we all got the drawers on the outside of our pants, right? Right.
No,
we ain't dealing with
not me.
Yeah.
I love when you say that because I'm like, I love to be the opposite of that. That's just who my character is. Like, no, I'm not a superhero. I'm a person, a man full of flaws, and I'm going through this world learning off of it. I'm being as transparent as saying I didn't have a father figure to show me how to even be a man. I had to figure that out and then show my son how to do that. And God bless me with 3 other nephews who look up to me and be like, hey, I look at what you did wrong and kind of like fix that and tweaked it to make it better.
Yeah.
Because how can we grow if everybody's a superhero? How can we say that how can I understand you and empathize and sympathize with you if you know everything and I know nothing, or vice versa?
Yeah.
So we got to be somewhere at some common ground to be able to have an eye-to-eye level to be able to say, I respect what you say, because at least you understand what I went through a little bit.
Yeah.
Because how can I take the advice off of Bill Gates when he never been broke and ate ramen noodle out of a styrofoam cup?
Yeah. No, you're right. And I think that's why I say it, because it's facetious in nature, right? Like, stop it, Five, right? Like, that's what we're really saying. Like, and I use this all the time. Shout out to Trigger Mike. He's like, I'm like, yo, your wife wear Lululemon too? Yeah, she wear a big t-shirt. Get the fuck out of here, Mike. And so I make sure to add on. Yeah, so my wife, she wear the, what they work out in, right? And she always used to wear like tie a jacket around her waist. I found the jacket in the driveway, nigga. Right? Like, but we superheroes, right? So we ain't dealing with none of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So now I catch your drift, man. Oh, let me read these and we get shot at, man. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Black Dawn, what's popping with the fellas? Glad you're still here, Mr. Williams. Not everyone survives their encounter with the abyss. Even fewer are strong enough to talk about it.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Black Dawn with a 20 ball. Perfect. And as y'all see, I have the ads off. So y'all shouldn't have gotten any commercial interruptions today purposely. Black Dawn with the 20 ball says, Sherelle, why, quote, why y'all not 10 deep on the panel today? Not gonna lie, I don't even know about everyone else, but on this topic, I don't have the courage nor the strength to speak publicly about this topic. Yeah, now this is interesting, right? Let me read his last one, and I'm gonna ask y'all a question. And well, Shad, I'm gonna ask the question after you talk your shit. Like Dawn with the fight says, Prime, I can't let my haters win. The issue is a lot of times you are your own biggest hater. Yeah. So man shit, right? Man shit 101. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. When it's hard, pause, you lean in, right? That's man shit 101. I think.
Supposed to.
Right? Or is Black Dawn taking care of himself?
He is.
You see what I mean? Like this the stuff like me, if it's like, yo, there was this dude, I was at football camp. He knocking shit the fuck out, right? We doing hitting drills. This nigga is tearing niggas all homo, tearing niggas asses up, right? No pause. Niggas was going through it, right? And I seen him go like 3 or 4 times, but I was on the other side. So we finally got in the same group. Instantly, I'm like, I'm going, me and you right now, you know? Or I just got in line. I'm not saying it, but I'm thinking. He was up, I just cut in line. Boom. Right? Like I gotta have it. You know what I'm saying? I gotta but I'm using that like, do we take care of ourselves? Right? Is that the smart thing? You know?
CTE, here we come.
CTE, here we come, baby. Shout out to Big Chug.
But you know what's funny? Last week you arrived at that same conclusion. Remember the conversational dichotomy about men being a coward versus men being self-preservational?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like the crash out and just willing to fight for no reason, no matter the circumstances or the assessment of danger and the mitigation thereof, versus being an actual coward, like being smart. You know what I mean? Like that's the same. You're right there on the money with it.
Yeah. Nah, real shit. Damn, okay. Shaw, what's good? And y'all can respond to that. I just want to make sure I get shot in the weekend.
Good fellas. Mr. Chill out before I jump into my soliloquy. You got an email or something? I want to reach out to you about something. I just finished a short film and I got a kind of a prompt that I'm asking men to participate in. So if you got an email, if you shoot it to me in the back, I would greatly appreciate it.
Chill, I got you. You want me to use the whole things?
He driving, that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Aaron gonna put it in the back now, shot.
Appreciate you. Amazing conversation as always, Hemp. I've shared before. I've been to therapy before, actually more than once. And 12 years ago, I lost a really good friend of mine to schizophrenia. And the reason why I mention it, because as we're talking about mental health, I'm always thinking about how are we preventing it, because his story to me is a great example of like what happens when we don't know, because right now there's no test to screen and prevent bipolar schizophrenia. So just real quick about his story, self-made chef. We all went to college together. He ended up auditioning for Master Chef, got on the show, ended up being the second runner up. The stress of that show triggered his bipolar schizophrenia. So he went from being on cloud nine. I'm talking about we rooting for him. I'm this close to a man who chased his dream and actually made it. And within a year, I lost him. And I still get emotional thinking about it sometimes, because I remember we all had a group call. We was talking, a group of men. We just, we trying to big them up because we don't have a real understanding of what bipolar schizophrenia looks like. Hey, man, it's going to be all right. We so glad you're at the hospital. And he not saying nothing because we just think he just kind of taking it in. 2 days later, he killed himself. And I probably have never cried that hard in my life, because it was just like to be that close to it. And then 2 days later to lose him, it was just kind of like a thing, like, what do you do with that? And so for me, it's always been like, how do I prevent? Because it scared me, him being that close to it. Because you talk about the super nigga smooth. I told you he was 7 foot tall. I'm talking about the girl used to melt when he came around. Like, he had him. He went from that guy to a dude that was wandering in the streets of Chicago and ended up killing himself within a year. Right now, I have a friend of mine. He was my barber. I met him 10 years ago. Entrepreneur, another guy, playboy. Right now, he has not left his home in 3 months because he's dealing with schizophrenia. And it's that stress. It's that stress that we talk about. How do we deal with it? How do we deal with it?
Hey, Shot, my 27-year-old son, he'll be 28 next month. He had a mental break like that where he was running around the streets naked.
Yeah.
And we do battle. Men in our family battle with it. And the only thing is now we can only try to get the grandkids screened, get everybody screened with mental health now. It's kind of difficult.
Bring it home, Miss Wayne. Hold on. Yeah, I did, and I'm not trying to stop you. I just want to make sure we stay right in the moment that Shaw's sharing, just for right now, right? Because he's still asking, what the fuck do you do? Right? Because you want a phone call with boy. God bless the dad.
Try to get him screened.
No answer, no answers right now, right? Because I think we and I'm not trying to shut. I'm just saying, like, yo, you on a phone call with Sean, you on a phone call with Duke, and then 2 days later he off himself. And then what's the next man thing to do? Why didn't I help him? What the fuck did I say or didn't say?
Yep.
What happened? Why I ain't go to Chicago?
Dealt with that for years, huh? Dealt with that for years, man. Why didn't ask this question? Why we all didn't go drive to Chicago and just sit around him till he got better? But I was 25, 26 at the time. I didn't know. I don't know if I took it as serious. You know what I mean? 'Cause I thought he was gonna recover from it. He got out of the hospital, but it was just like, and like I said, I'm dealing with it right now. My barber, who's been cutting my hair for 10 years, we built a relationship. Last year, went to jail because he got into it with a guy. So I'm thinking, because he's kind of a high head. So I'm thinking, man, you're doing too much. Got out of the hospital. And then the other part about it is that pride. Because he started cutting my hair after he got out of the hospital. And I'm like, bro, you good? He played it off. Yeah, I'm good. But I could look in his eyes and tell something had changed. So, I'm trying to keep it normal, because it's almost like if I lean into what's happening, I can feel his push, because he don't want to admit I'm dealing with bipolar depression. I'm dealing with schizophrenia. It went from that to I had a haircut scheduled, couldn't find him. Nobody could find him. We all showed up to the shop. Nobody can find him. Like I told you, at this current time, he has not left his house for 3 months. And it's because that medicine is it's affecting him in a way where they haven't figured out the proper dosage. But just seeing seeing people decline in that way. And what I'm really just trying to get to, Hemp, is like, again, like you said, the prevention part of it. How do we as men kind of prevent? Because from what I understand, and what Mr. Williams kind of talked about briefly, is like, is it hereditary? What are some of the ways that we can prevent this? But I think for me, I don't have the answer to that. But I started incorporating things in my life, because it makes me go back to the conversation we had about what do men do that doesn't involve women. And I remember we had that conversation. I said, well, for me, it's meditation. For me, it's conscious breathing. Like getting up in the morning and actually sitting in the bed for a couple of minutes and taking deep breaths and thinking about what am I grateful for today, despite all the stress I got going on. What am I grateful for today? What are my intentions for today?
Sean, one thing you were saying that pops in my head, and yeah, I think I'll mute if you're not talking. Check. I think like you talking about affirmations, right? Grounding yourself before you make decisions, right?
Yep.
Getting up and having a routine. I think about something, when you talk about son who, what did you say? What was it? Gordon Ramsay show or what? Whatever.
Yeah, Master Chef. Joshua Mark. You can Google him. Joshua Mark. The story is all over the place if you want to Google it.
And then instantly Joshua Marks, right? God bless his dad. I think Anthony Bourdain killed himself, right?
Yep.
And you look and can y'all finish this sentence? You don't say can't because can't isn't what?
Trying?
In a man's vocabulary.
Oh,
yeah.
Don't exist.
And I always thought that. And I used it the other day. It's not because I can't control the thing, you see? So the subject matter, I can't control it. So I'm like, I can't do anything about it because it's totally out of my control. You see what I'm saying? I'm almost thinking, if we don't never say, okay, this is out of my control, are we like over processing? Are we torturing ourselves with shit? How do I fix it? How do I change it? Are we being delusional? And then what does that do? Now you pros and cons, right, Mr. Fantastic? Now motherfuckers be saying can about everything. So then you're like, God damn, nigga. But I
got one more thing to help.
Yeah, go ahead. It's just a catch-22. I just got that from like when you were just talking about your man, But go ahead.
I found myself when y'all had a conversation about vulnerability, the road divides, and I kind of found myself not with the group anymore because this fear that we have of if we vulnerable with particularly like our woman, she's gonna throw it back in our face. And when I hear men talk about that, I'm like, okay, you're not gonna die. If anything, it's gonna reveal the type of woman that you connected to. And guess what? If I'm with a woman that when I be vulnerable with her, she throws it back in my face. Thank you, God. Thank you. Because I can get her out the way. And so I wonder why we think being vulnerable in that way, in some way, gets us in trouble. Because guess what? And I bet you all the men can agree with this. Nobody will ever be more critical of us than we are of ourselves. We say worse stuff. We say worse stuff to ourselves. I had a friend check me in over time. She was like, "Shy, why you always like doing this negative kind of like self-talk?" Like I get it. It's like a trauma response. You do it to kind of level set yourself. But why do you do that? And it made me think like, why do I do that? It comes from childhood issues and things that I'm still resolving right now. So I just don't look at vulnerability the way some men do. It's like, cool. I share with you a vulnerable moment and you threw it back in my face. Thank you. Now I know what to do with you. But I want to know. Yeah.
You right. And it's most men do, right? To keep it tall. Most men look at vulnerability as like a bad word, right? With your woman. I liken it to this, and then Aaron, you could talk your shit. It's like giving somebody the banger, right? And they shoot you with your own fucking gun. And you just like, why the fuck did I give that nigga that? Knowing he was and you know what I mean? And so I get it. You ain't gonna die, but you might as well be dead. Because that person wasn't supposed to do that. Like if a woman get raped, if a child get molested, that person is dead. I don't give a fuck what you say. The person she was before she got taken advantage of, she ain't that person no more. You see? And that's what I see. Like shit like that. Somebody flip that on you. It's like, yo, like one time, something had happened. So dude got robbed, girl texting in his car. So that whole summer, nobody could text in the car. Fuck that. It just like, go ahead, Aaron. What you think, man?
So yeah, Shad, the answer to your question is it's the mindset of a person going in. See, you're going in with the mindset already where you're prepared to let her go, or you're prepared to deal with the fact that she's not what you thought she was. But if you go into that situation without that mindset, where you go into the situation where I hate to say it, but your sense of self is heavily predicated on her opinion of you, right? Your validation, or you're drawing some level of self-worth from her, especially if we're talking about wives now, right? Because we all, as husbands, we do this. If our wives aren't comfortable, we're failing. We have to do something. If they're not safe, we're failing. We have to do something. We have to level up. We got to get better. Something has to improve. So we got to change. That's what responsibility is, right? So if you go into it with that, you're already set up, not prepared to have the mindset that you just said you would come to, because your value is somehow in her hand, or your perception of your value is somehow in her hands, even if it's just a little bit. So you're not ready to go, oh, well, thanks for showing me who you are. It turns into exactly what Hamp said. You gave a gun to someone that you thought you could trust, and they discharged a round right into your cranium. What the hell did I do that for? So you go in holstering your own weapon.
Yeah, I do understand. I understand that logic, Aaron. You was gonna say something fantastic?
Yeah, shout out to you, brother, for your you know what I mean, your story, right? And RIP to your people, bro. And hopefully the brother, you know, going through his thing right now gets through it.
Appreciate
But
it.
yeah, man. What they say, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right? So that's the thing, Shad. Like, usually you don't do that with somebody just off rip. That's somebody you trust. So you
For
built
sure.
a bond. You trust this woman and you love her, right? That she's a part of your life. So actually, now think about it. You going through some shit, or you just got over some shit, right? And the person you love, bro, the person you provide, protect, you actually got feelings for, throw the shit back at your face, dog. Bro, that shit can be, that right there, bro, can be the end. Real shit, right?
It happened to me. No, honestly, it happened to me.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you was speaking from personal. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I know. I get where y'all coming from, because it's actually happened to me.
yes, I think a lot of brothers know, man. And I think Aaron did a great job, bro. If you really, really love this woman, bro, and you plan, especially plans of spending your life, and this is the person you settled on, and then they take some shit to where you ain't told a soul, take to the grave type shit, and they throw that shit on you, bro. A lot of brothers can't handle it, man. So
For sure.
to save both parties, to save both situations, because you never know what a person will do, right? We never truly know anybody other than ourselves, right? And then we learn so much about ourselves as we grow. So and Shad, it happened to me too, right? It happened to me to where, you know, a woman I cared about, trusted and shit, she told us some shit that, like, hey, you know what I mean, and she want to flip the shit on me. So like, where you, like, you know what I mean? And I think that too is one of the things that, bro, we used to eat that shit. Pause, right? Hey, life goes on, and that's the crazy thing about it. But now you're not ever gonna do this shit ever again. You feel me? For the most part, for most people, I can't say everybody, but for most men, if you ever experience that with a person you actually love, care about, a woman you trusted, and then she take that vulnerability and throw it back at you, bro,
It's over with.
it's over with. Done.
Now here's my devil's advocate question. Anybody feel free to, matter of fact, Tarus, Aaron, no, Tarus didn't miss a chill out. What are we missing out on? I guess my question is risk versus reward. We know in economics 101, high risk equals high reward. That level of vulnerability, what would the yield be? And is that worth risking it for?
Yes. I mean, been at that vulnerability for 17 years now, man. It's a risk you accept. Like, I don't want to be dramatic, you know, because life is risk and all that, but there's certain actions we take, whether you're a man or a woman, bro, where you know it can go south. You know this can be a complete disaster, and not just an embarrassment, but this man or this woman could publicly embarrass you in front of all the wrong people at all the wrong time, whatever that scenario is. But you're hoping that that woman or that man sees the same in you, right? You hoping your woman gives you that same gratitude, that same benefit of doubt, right? Because just as paranoid as we are, it works both ways because, at least from a relationship standpoint, guys, man, woman, we're talking about another grown-ass human being with their own perspective, their own consciousness, their own self-awareness, their own flaws, the own way they see themselves. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, it's risky, but I'm just gonna be honest, man. Without my wife, I don't even know why I would go to therapy. Especially when I asked for this family, bro. I'm the one who got down on one knee and asked for, asked her hand in marriage. I'm the one who asked for my 2 daughters.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Like, and then so that's the risk I'm willing to take. She's willing to, again, get embarrassed by whatever it is I might do, right? But we still together because at the end of the day, that's all we can do is just have hope, man. You can't police that, if you get what I mean.
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. I understand the standpoint. I think you made a strong case for it for sure. What you think, Chill?
Risk, transparent vulnerability, reward, complete solitude, right? Like you want to have some peace of mind. Isn't that what you're expressing yourself for and opening up yourself? And I think it's the character who takes this information and runs with it in a false way doesn't see the value in the person who's confiding in them. Like if you call me up, any one of y'all on this panel right now, called me up and was like, Chill, I need to talk to you. First of all, I'm going to be humbled and really take what y'all about to say to heart and really hold on to it as we about to go die, whatever this secret is, because you called me. You chose to, out of all those contacts in your phone, to call me and come and confide in me. So that says a lot about what you screaming out for as a man. You need some help. And then that should be about my character, that you even chose to go and cry out for some help. And then I understand that vulnerability that you're trying to go through, you really need the help. So I should go and get that for you. So basically, back to complete solitude, right? You're going for some peace of mind. You're really screaming out for some help. And you had to be vulnerable to even get the help that you need. That's basically how I look at it.
I have a question. Did you mean? I know you behind the wheel, and I can see you at a lot. I think I know where you at. You meant solidarity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I figured as much. Yeah. Looking for solidarity. Yeah. Because I'm listening to you, and it seems like.
Yeah. You know.
I got you. Yeah. Oh, I know where you. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Okay, that makes sense then. I was trying to mine out the solitude part. I'm like, he can be by himself.
That's me too. Yeah. I think he meant solidarity, but where he's at is like. Yeah. I know exactly.
Hey,
Yeah.
Ham, can I say something real quick?
Yeah. Talk your shit.
Hey, Shot. Real quick. First off, I'm really sorry about your first homeboy. That sucks, bro. That sucks. Your second homeboy. A lot of times, we as men, when we get to that vulnerability, we could get like in a defensive posture real quick, right? My recommendation, if you're in a position to do something like this, fill up your tank of gas, pick them up, just burn a tank of gas, doing a ring around the city or something like that. Play music, don't say shit. He might just open up just like that. And a lot of times it's not even about giving advice. It's just about sitting there and listening, bro. You know what I mean? Just, that's something you can try. That's all I want to say.
I appreciate that.
Okay, so I think that's actually a good segment, honestly. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Let me just check. Black Man Unfiltered with the $2 says most men die at 30 and buried at 90. Jesus Christ, that's fucking.
Whoa.
That was deep.
What? Let me ask y'all. What are actual solutions? Like, if you had to actually offer one that's substantive for most men, like what is it? Like, what is it, honestly? Or what are they, if any?
I'm a big check in on your homie and don't give up on them, even in the hardest, darkest times. Like I feel like as most men, we feel alone, and if we are family, then you check in on your family and you make sure that they're all okay. I agree with Tarus. Go fill up that gas tank, whatever. Go sit at the pier. Go have a 6-pack. Go link up at the gym. Go spar. Call Mr. Fantastic up. Go run a 1v1. However you feel. Just don't give up on your homies and always check in, because you never know what somebody's going through. It's funny because I'm on the road a lot, and sometimes I could be having a crazy day, and then I'll look over and I'll see somebody jamming out in their car, bobbing their head, banging their music. They're in a whole different perspective of what I'm going through in life, and you never know what somebody's going through on their day-to-day. It could be the highest of the highs or the lowest of the lows, but if you call each other friends, family, or homies, always check up on them. A text message goes a long way. You don't know how many times I've heard that. Hey man, that text message just saved my whole day. You don't even know what I was about to go do, but you was like, hey man, I hope you're good. I hope you're all right. Stay blessed. If you need me, call me. I'm around. I think that goes a long way, and then really mean it and stand by it, because you never know that listening ear, you could really stop somebody from. And I'm sorry again, shout out to you. I'm sorry for your loss. You never know when a homie's going to delete themselves, or anybody because you just don't know what their perspective is from day to day. What that one thing could be that drives them over the edge.
Yeah. So Mr. Chillouts is checking up on people, checking up on other people. I know Aaron uses a term quite often, called Wolfpack. I just want to share this because it goes right in with that. I'm not done with that. I just that one specifically, right? So this is even if you're not into this, just the message itself, right? The Ecclesiastes 4:9 says, 2 are better than 1 because they have good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he fall, for he have not another to help him up. Right? Pretty straightforward. Again, if 2 lie together, they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And if 1 prevail against him, 2 shall withstand him. And a threefold cord is not quickly broken. So if you know how to tie knots and shit like that. So I think that just in terms of what Chill Out was saying. Anything else?
Go ahead. Sean. No, I was just going real quick fortify exactly what Chill and Hamp said, and that's why we have our wolf pack of 3. And it works. I just, anecdotally, just like maybe 2 weeks ago, I hit Chill. It was like, yo, man, I need a vent. All right, yeah, what's up? I came over with a 6-pack. He had one already ready. We burnt it down. I came back a whole new man. You know what I mean? And vice versa. He'll hit me up, or Mav, or he's doing his politician shit. So he's going nuts, and he'll hit us up. Yo, man, let's go hit a couple golf. Matter of fact, we got a top golf date coming up soon. We got to get together, all 3 of us. So he's right. Check up on and make a point, even when nobody's facing crisis. Don't just check up, but make it a point to get together anyway, because then that's how you reward one another, right? Celebrate the good time. Celebrate the fact that nothing's going on. Celebrate the fact that nobody is facing any sort of danger or obstacle, and nobody just got done slaving for some reward or accolade. Celebrate the fact that things are just A-okay. Get together and swing a golf club over a cold one just for that. Reward yourself for doing the right thing, and reward your wolf pack for being there for you. 100%.
Yeah, makes sense. That's a steel man, right? Shot.
This is what I've done. I got curious about my mental health. After one, like really examine the flock that I come from, because I come from traditional Southern men who they never look scared. They look like they good all the time, even when they not good. That's what I come from. We barely go to the doctor. I shared in the Discord. Me and Sway was having a conversation that when I went to therapy the first time, I learned about attachment styles. I don't know how many people kind of are aware of those and what they mean. But when I read it, it spoke to me because it helped me understand why I operated, why the way I operated, particularly in romantic relationships. So it's like the same way we learn about finance, the same way we learn about fitness, fashion, or whatever it is. Because it's not always about because something is wrong with you. It's just another tool to have. Any event these things come up, just being aware. Because I'm kind of with you. When I think about therapy, therapy is kind of like an umbrella term. There's many different types of therapies that could actually help you. It's not always talk therapy. Because I think when people think about therapy, they think about talk therapy. They think about going, somebody. Yeah. That's just one. That's just one type of therapy. There's many type of therapies that are very helpful. So I would just challenge any man to get curious about it. Question the things that we consider the norms. Are they actually helping us? You have to ask that question because there are a lot of things that men do just because. Whether it works or not, our granddaddies did it and their granddaddies did it, so we do it. But is it actually serving us to live a full life outside of making us feel manly? It got to be more than that. So I just said, just get curious. Pause.
No, real quick.
Yeah, get curious about it, man, because there's so much information out here for us, particularly as like African American men. Get curious about it.
Yeah,
that's my suggestion.
No, I hear that. I hear that. I guess my suggestion is almost similar. Like, what's the root causes of a lot of this stuff? You know, what in your roots make you say, "I'm not dealing with that. I handle that a particular way. I ain't taking that shit. This thing makes me feel a way. Like, where does it come from? You know, what's the manifestation of said feeling or emotion or the way in which you handle things? You know, I think understanding that allows you to understand.
Yeah.
And I think using intentional language makes a big difference. I said this before. Saying I apologize is easier than saying I'm sorry. Just the words. I apologize. I'm sorry. It's harder for people to say I'm sorry. Try it. And if that word is harder for you to say, use that one. Don't change the verbiage, right? The word is there for a reason. It invokes a feeling and emotion for a reason. Use that one. So whether you're saying sorry to a person as opposed to I apologize, it'll impact that person differently also. You know? So that's what I would suggest, I guess. What's up, Mr. Fantastic? What you think?
Brother.
You got a jersey on. Yo, you know you 40-something, right?
And
oh, and he got the hat too. Yeah,
I don't know who he think he is, man. He got a corduroy hat on.
So is LeBron. He wears it to work in. So whatever.
And then he was with who was that? Brett?
Yes, Bret Hart. Bret the Hitman Hart. Yes.
I showed that picture to my wife. I said, look at Mr. Fantastic. He know he ain't 16, right?
Hey man, I felt like it. That's the first time I ever felt like a kid.
Are you ready to Bret Hart?
He cheesing and all that shot like a kid in a candy store.
I'm smiling a fucking picture in lifetime, but whatever. That's a part of my. It's a part of my release, nigga. Pause. Right? You feel me? I was happy. See, I embraced
happy as shit.
I was happy, bro. I couldn't believe it. Like, bro, it was just random. It was random. I was at the Nike store down here just randomly, and what made it so crazy, right? Mm-hmm. That's another thing too. So that's a good segue, HAMP. Bro, you know what's crazy, bro? I told that one, but bro, everything happened for a reason, bro. If you understand the philosophy of everything happened for a reason, I was on the way headed there, right? Just randomly, it was a big ass traffic jam. Some truck hit another truck's trailer that had a whole bunch of fucking like construction equipment, bro. Shut down 3-lane 95, right? 95, that's the main highway, East Coast, right? Shut down a 3-lane highway to 1 lane. So I'm pissed. It's like a 15-20 minute wait, right? Get back on the road, going, start raining and shit. I'm like, whatever, I get over it. But then, like you said, I get to the Nike store, walking there, random, nothing crazy. It's a Saturday? I think it was Saturday. Slow, ain't nobody really in there. I'm walking around looking at shoes. They ain't got shit in there. I'm kind of pissed about that because at least, you know, they got some shit I can get. Can't get that. But then, lo and behold, I fucking look up and my fucking favorite wrestler of all time right in front of me. So, yeah, man. Even life, bro. All right? Even life. You got to motherfucking understand this shit and figure this shit out. And, hey, I truly am listen, man. I'll be forgetting how big I am in real life, too. Because, listen, man, this dude right
Bret
here.
Hart is your favorite though, Mr. Fantastic?
Huh? Nah, Bret Hart
Bret
is 6
Hart
feet
is your
tall.
favorite?
Bret,
Oh,
yeah, hell yeah. As a kid, hell yeah.
Man, over Stone Cold. Oh
Yeah,
man.
before, no, I never got into Stone Cold like that. That was the ops, man. Stone Cold was the ops, and then The Rock came along, but you know that was older, and The Rock was other shit. But nah, man. But definitely, my part of it would be, we talked about this last week. Yeah, a big part of it is finding your purpose, right? Find your purpose. Create and find a purpose, bro. Far too often we just go through this shit. We going through the motions. We literally living for the weekend and you know for payday and for this and for that and that. Just again, man, you have to find your purpose. You have to make your life meaningful to you, right? And if a lot more brothers do that, man, I think we come out a whole lot better in a lot of things, even our interactions amongst each other. But the whole aggression shit is natural, but a lot of times niggas be pissed off. Niggas be mad. Ain't nothing nobody did to him, but he got so much shit going on. Then get on my way. I'm in a rush. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? I got somewhere to be. So once you learn to the small shit, bro, and understand that you can't and have you I never addressed you saying this. I don't know if I don't believe in what you say. You don't believe in
Depression.
No, not depression. Free will, right?
Yeah.
You say you don't believe in free will. I'm partially there, but not all the way there. I believe that everything happens for a reason and everything happens how it's supposed to happen for the most part. I believe in most cases in life, you have you can go this way, you can go that way, and if you make this decision, this happens. You make that decision, that happens. You feel me? That's the way I see it. But yeah, man, you gotta understand those things, bro, and you know, find purpose, learn lessons, be better. And once you do that shit, man, I think a lot of more things, you know, level out and become a whole lot easier.
Yeah. You know, I definitely understand it, man. I always think when I hear purpose, because it's said ad nauseum, kinda, it's a platitude. I'm not saying you mean it that way in this instance. I think you saying it intentionally in terms of something that'll give you aspiration, right? Goals, something that you find solace in, you know. But I just hear it a lot, like find your purpose, men should have a and it sounds like a platitude, like go to the gym. But that nigga never been to a gym in his life. Now he eating pizza on Tuesday at Planet Fitness because you just told him go to the gym. You know what I mean? Like, but I definitely understand it. You know, I just wonder what's the disposition of most men. Is it to be purposeful and intentional? If not, then where do those brothers fall when they hear that?
Can I get a crack at
It's an alternative to that. It's one like find something you would do even if you didn't get paid for it. It's like a list of things. It's like three. It's like a list of three. It's like find something you would do even if you didn't get paid for it. I gotta find it because maybe that's not as platitudish as find your purpose. Let me find it real quick.
What truth?
I think finding a purpose is its own separate journey, right? Because once you find a purpose, then you got a journey, and so it's like I felt like what you're saying, and I think I agree if I understand it correctly. Is like we're missing a couple steps, or at least a couple of points in the outline here. And one of the things that relates to what you was talking about earlier when you're saying things like, "Damn, is my family really appreciating me?" And I think for us men, it's a silent appreciation is good. Sometimes we want to hear it, but that comes down to more like teaching politeness. Like, for example, my kids know to say please and thank you at restaurants when people are handling their food. They know how to say please and thank you. That better be the main words coming out of your mouth when you're talking to retail service workers and things like that. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
That sort of obviously starts at the home first, because guess what? They are saying, "Hey, Dad, thanks for dinner." You know what I mean? I get what you mean by that. And sometimes it feels like they not really appreciative of what you're doing if you notice it hasn't happened for a while. If that's what you was talking about. Like it's almost like they're taking you for granted. Like they just expect this. It was always gonna be this way. You get what I mean? Not understanding the shit you had to go through in order to make it this way, that they didn't have to see all the other crap that you put up with. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
We have to remember as men, that's the whole fucking point. Right? I think sometimes we as men want appreciation for things we purposely didn't want our kids to understand anything about. Right? And then when they're actually living the life that we wanted them to live, sometimes men, almost like a jealousy. I hear sometimes women talk about that, where they're looking at their daughter kind of having the upbringing they wish they had, and there's some sort of resentment there. Unfortunately, men can have that same resentment when it comes to their boys, or when it comes to their daughters, just in childhood in general. You know, there's these, and again, not all, just some, in some situations. And so one of the things
Minority,
I had,
well, clarifying question, would you say majority or minority of those situations, speculatively?
Speculative, I'd say slight majority. And the reason why is because we're social creatures, and on the other hand of that, we're naturally competitive. So no matter how hard you don't want to, you're always going to compare and contrast yourself to someone else. And unfortunately, that's going to be the closest person or persons beside you. Your wife, husband, your children. Right? If you live, maybe you got your parents at home, it's going to be stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, oh, my bad.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. And so one of the things I have to constantly remind myself, because my dad, look, I had both my parents growing up, but one of the things that always used to suck was having my dad or my mom be like, well, this is my vision for you. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I can do all that. You know what I mean? But I'm appreciative still, though, that I didn't have to make the same desperate decision they did. Right? Like my mom grew up she was born in 1960s, bro. She was coming up in the 70s and 80s in the Bronx, New York. I can't imagine that hellscape. I don't want to imagine that hellscape. I don't want to know about, like, they tell me about the stories, my mom and my uncles coming up. I can't imagine that, bro. I'd rather be deployed to the desert than go to the shit they went through. Like, dead ass serious. But I got to make sure that I don't inflict that same sort of generational trauma on my kids. Well, maybe you need to grow up if you join the military, go to the desert, grow a pair of balls. You know what I mean? Mature. That's not the fucking point. The point is we want our kids to not experience that. That way they have a better chance at building what we want it to be. You know what I mean? Because I think we as men a lot of times forget that the whole purpose of children is to have them be better than us. I don't want my kids to be me. I need them to be better than me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree, man. I just on that last point, I look at my son, I'm thinking it's a second chance to make a better first impression. So yeah, but no, I catch your drift 100%.
Like just be honest, Hamp. Would you want any of your children going down the same path you walked?
No. I mean, it's not all bad, but generally,
yeah, but in general,
no.
You would hope that you put them in a position where they don't have to make any sort of the decisions you had to make, right?
Yeah, as much as possible, if we can, mitigate,
Yeah. And so we have to make sure with our children, yes, we're making sure they show appreciation, or at least understand the circumstances. But I think some people take it, or some of us as men, we think, well, the only way they really going to appreciate it is if somehow we try to make them go down the same journey we didn't want to go down. And now we think they need to do it the same way we did. Like, no, that's not how it works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think our people too, just on this topic, let me know what y'all think. we put so much emphasis and praise on struggle. Like you can only be validated from our people if you struggle. If you didn't struggle, you lesser than. You don't know. You can't even compute. Right? We get validated through suffering. And I think we might be doing ourselves a disservice. It's
Yeah,
like
that I bring that up all the time. That and
I think you
criminality.
did bring that up. Yeah.
That and criminality. If you ain't got it out the mud, you ain't got it out the gutter, you ain't jumped off the porch, you ain't never did a bid, you ain't never seen you ain't never plucked roaches out the cereal box like motherfucking Ghostface Killer. You ain't no real nigga. You feel me? You don't have the black experience. And I think that's a major issue and problem. How we identify blackness with poverty and criminality.
Well, I think we got to make a separation there, and you said it, Hamp. I don't know if you knew you did, but there's a difference between struggling and suffering. Struggling is an effort. Struggling is strained effort, right? You would then have to ask the question, well, what's the intention of this strained effort? To improve or to advance or to achieve? Fine. You lift weights. I mean, football training is a struggle to an achievement. Suffering is where poverty is. Scraping roaches out of the cereal box ain't nobody's struggle. That's suffering. And I think the thing is, we praise suffering as if it were praising struggling. When suffering is rudderless and it's directionless and it has no intended goal, whereas struggle should at least have a rudder attached to it. And the motor is where the struggle is.
You're right.
It's what drives you.
The terms are conflated. And
Right.
it'll be characterized as the struggle. But when people articulate the struggle, it's picking the roaches out of the box.
Which is suffering. Correct.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
I wanted to go back to the vulnerability conversation, particularly for Hemp and Aaron as married men, because I really want to understand what is this vulnerability. And I'm using running. That might not be the best word, but running from, because I would argue the moment you take that woman in and commit to her, you're already vulnerable, right? Like she has access to things that other women have never had in your life. So what is this level of vulnerability that's acceptable to men in general? And what's the level where we're saying, nah, this is too far and this could get me in trouble? I really want to understand that, particularly for like people listening, because I think I struggle with really understanding what men are saying when they talk about this.
Hey guys, I gotta head out. It was nice chopping it up with you guys,
Ooh,
man. Y'all
be
take it
safe,
easy.
bro.
Tarus, bless up, man.
Definitely. Okay,
My
so
answer's quick. I have no idea.
Okay, that's honest. That's honest.
ask the question one more time, Shaw. Like
Just like understanding the lever. Like what's the level of vulnerability that's acceptable? That if we were creating the SOP for manhood, this is what we all accept. This level of vulnerability is cool. Now this is where it's too far, because we use the word vulnerability, but I think there is kind of like a spectrum that we operate from. And I'm just trying to understand what is the cautionary tale that we're like kind of telling me when it comes to vulnerability.
Yeah, no, I think that's actually a pretty good question.
Is it information? Is it admitting I'm having a bad day? I'm having a bad month? Like, what is it? What is it?
It's mostly like information. I think Hink often touts like one pot. Like put all your money, everybody money going to the same account and shit. That's a vulnerability that I think people would really need to assess, but I get it in a vacuum. But I think the overwhelming majority of it, Shad, is information, because I think generally speaking, women will fight us with information and words, and then it can be weaponized, So do you tell her everything, even though you've agreed to better or worse, death do us part, kill and die? But then even after doing that, you like, but I can't tell you about this because you saying it back to me is gonna hurt my feelings a lot. You know, so it
Yeah.
does kind of, it seems contrary, right, to signing that contract, but then you have this stealth of information. So it sounds like broken logic a little bit, but for some reason, sitting here, it still makes sense to me.
But honestly, it makes sense to me too, because that's kind of in general. That's information that most people won't get from it. So I think that kind of makes sense to me. It's like certain information, it's no benefit to you. The only thing you can do with this is throw it back at me. So what you need it for?
Yeah,
I understand it. I understand it.
I think we got to do a good job of communicating triggers. You know, so like that level of information, like for instance, like don't do this to me because this is my general response.
Right.
The why, how important is the why, right? As long as you respect me and don't do it to me, right? The why is, the respect should be enough for you not to do it to me. You know
what else is funny though? The why is probably where the real vulnerability is.
Where the vulnerability is. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where it is, and that's where niggas like you know, that's where the real vulnerability is. I just wonder if you can get the result, then maybe you don't have to reveal it. But it's interesting, you know. And then she the same person that make the decision to pull the plug on you too, but she can't know that secret. So it just sounds like it.
That's the ultimate vulnerability. If and when you get to that point,
yeah,
she got you by the short and curlies, bro. Your life is literally in her hands. Your life and well-being. Craziness.
Yeah, not real shit.
I think because sometimes you want to do the super chat now?
Yeah, it's only a few.
Okay.
Curtis with the fellow says, how do you be vulnerable to someone that is dealing with their own mental health issues in a relationship? Okay. If I were to answer quickly, pursuant to Matthew 7, I think people misunderstand Matthew 7 and thinking it's about hypocrisy. To think it's articulating hypocrisy, right? What it's actually talking about is we dealing with two different issues. Don't be judgmental to me if you're dealing with the same issue. But if I have a different issue than you have, I can help you through that. I can check you on it. I can hold you accountable to it, you know, because we all dealing with something. But if I've already dealt with that or I understand it, then I can help you and I can push you in that instance, right? And vice versa, right? Because we are dealing with different things. So that's what I would say.
I would just say that's the grounds for marital support. Where I am weak, she is strong. Where she is weak, I am strong. That's it right there.
Yeah, that's it. Sean with the $5. What up, Sean? Says, another great conversation. It's not often you hear black men share these kind of thoughts so transparently. Well, we appreciate that, man. Friendsgiving in the building, man.
What up, buzzing, birds flipping dozen.
Holla
at your boy, you thought your cousin was.
Salute the Friendsgiving in the building.
Perfect.
Gifted
Shit like that.
Friendsgiving gifted 50 memberships last week too. I don't even know who Friendsgiving. I seen Friendsgiving in the Discord and shit, man. But it's humbling, and we appreciate it that you see so much value to where the people should get access to all of what This Might Be Risky has to offer. So I'm humbled by the love and support, and we appreciate it wholeheartedly. The last one was the $5 membership too. Which one was this one? Just so I can know, because I don't be knowing. I can't see it on my side for some reason, man. Let me play this real quick. I ain't play this one in a minute.
I knew that we become one right away. One right away. At first sight, I felt the energy of sun rays. I saw the light inside your
It's the same one, man. Damn, that's love, man. We appreciate it, man. You know, especially on days like this, when we being a little bit more substantive in a conversation. You notice. I'm just saying, I ain't gonna
Look quiet.
I'm telling you, man. We put up there who's gayer? 600 people. Women more
But they
gay than men.
But they tired of the conversations though. They tired of
They love that shit, bro.
sick of this shit. Y'all talking about it.
We like drama. We like drama.
We love that shit.
we love the drama. We do.
Yeah, man. But I think it's a good calibration, man. And we gotta know, and shot to your point, if it's confusing and it's confounding, even when you saying it, not you, but like if I'm saying it, I'm like, it don't make sense, but it makes sense to me, right? Which sound crazy. But with this type of shit, it's just because you have this contractual agreement that exposes you, right? Overwhelmingly, both people, you are exposed fully to this person. Every single thing that they've done, right, matters. Now you married. What's her student loan debt? What's your debt? What's this? What's that? Her family. Who you gonna be responsible for? Like my wife, as an example, her father, she the only child. So guess who Pop gonna have to live with sooner or later? You know what I'm saying? It's like all this stuff. But them 3 secrets, fuck that. Right?
That one you can't know.
Grave, baby. Take it to the grave. Goddamn.
Yeah, but help. I was just thinking because I remember somebody told me a long time, you train people on how to treat you. And so I'm just thinking particularly as men, like, I know we're supposed to be the strong ones. We're supposed to be the stoic ones, the ones that are less emotional. I remember I had a conversation with a lady recently. She was like, she feel like women deserve more kindness. And I mean, I didn't have an issue with her statement, but then I was kind of like, but why? Like, outside of me just being a man, why do you deserve more kindness? And it just made me think about, okay, well, as a man, is this kind of how I've trained women to treat me and believe that they deserve more care just in general than men do? And then you talk about the stat like suicide and stuff like that. So I have to question that. Like, are we still just trying to play manhood? And so that's why we lean into that concept? Or should we re-examine that? Because is it a benefit to us, particularly men who want wives in the future?
Yo, real shit. You cooking. Here's what I think. What you saying is all correct. Because this is what I think. And this could be a manhood thing, right? A Neanderthal-esque thing. We don't even need that much for real.
For sure.
Just a little bit go a long way with a nigga. You know what I'm saying? If I talk about myself, because it's been successful for the show for the most part. If my wife scratched my back, you ever got your back scratched? It's like the best, nigga. I don't know. But if she scratched my back without even me asking, nigga, I sleep like a baby. You feel me? Like it just be this much, you know?
Right.
Like I don't know. And I think it goes a long way, I think what's unhelpful is like a lot of the comparisons.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Make sure you help me cook because I cook every day, but you don't never come outside. But only outside only once a week. But the bills get paid once a month. The fuck that mean? Right? Like, why even shit on my shit? You know what I'm saying? Like shit be, like if I'm the topic, let me be the topic. Right? Like, and I think that gets usurped a lot when we start talking about this type, like how we feel.
For sure.
Yeah. So that's what I would say, bro. Like it just a little bit, bro. Scratch my back, my nigga, or not my nigga, but like
I think it's dope to see like having conversations like this. I mentioned on the panel I was a part of a meditation. It was like Black men. It was called Meditation for Black Men Who Do Too Much, and it was over like 800 dudes. This big meditation, and it was just dope to see stuff like that, like outside of what we do with women. Like as men kind of changing how we operate for the benefit that's not tied to money. Because we get together for the bread, but to see so I think it's changing. Like men are starting to assess like what's making sense, what's not making sense, keeping the things that do make sense strictly. Because again, I still believe that men are gonna be the ones who are gonna kind of hold firm for our household. We might have to take the brunt of the emotional weight. I think we're built for that actually. Naturally. You know what I mean? Like most of us are built for that. So, but I do think there's some things we should be questioning, and like how much of that should we take on? And again, just how we training women to treat us.
Yeah.
I remember you was kind of fighting back when it was Arnold. We was having a conversation, kind of like the bare minimum thing. It's like, nah, not the bare, nah, we can't stay there. Nah.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can't stay.
Yeah, we can't stay at the bare minimum. We need what we need. So just really like, I guess, reshaping. That's kind of what I do with my art. James and I was having a conversation yesterday, and I was telling him I haven't seen the movie Straw, but right now everybody's talking about it. You familiar with the Netflix movie?
Taraji?
Yeah.
I'm familiar. I didn't watch it.
I haven't seen it. I'm gonna check it out just because everybody, anything that's polarizing, I want to just kind of see. But just listen to the conversation around it. I was like, man, the plight of women, it gets explored, analyzed all the time, the worst of them, the best of them. But like for men, we don't always get that. And for me, I want to make sure I'm telling stories, particularly with black faces and with men as the lead, to kind of diversify our story. Yeah. The real stuff, the ugly stuff. You know what I mean? Like they need to see it all to get a better understanding of what we go through. Because the majority of us are overcoming something.
Yeah, 100%. Consumption is a thing that I've been assessing more and more.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So like I like watching action movies because it should be so out of bounds. It's just
right.
Like you know what I mean? So like that stuff ain't really, and I watch documentaries because it is a thing,
I love documentaries, yeah.
But I've been a little bit more keen on things that people liken to real life.
Mm-hmm.
So like my wife watching the dating shows, I don't be like, nah, turn it off. I'm like, what is it? And I found her, all praises, she been watching like documentaries more. But like there was this one thing, it was called like Temptation Island. And it's just like why right? Yeah. Now it's all these ideas now, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like so I'm just keen on that. Yeah, But I guess, do you guys recommend that we watch Straw?
I don't know what it is.
It just came out, I think, Friday.
It just came out. It's basically about like I think I might be quoting this wrong. It's like a single mom basically exploring. She crashes out basically. Just the stress of being a single woman and dealing with all those different elements. And eventually I think she crashes out in some way, robs a bank or something. So I haven't seen it. But.
Do we recommend watching this on the back of this conversation?
Nah.
Oh.
So King is
hell no. But but no, I don't even know what the movie is. Who
it seems to be a very traumatic story. So not out the back of this conversation.
Yeah. Okay. So it said it's dark. So, and it's the mental health thing.
Yeah.
Damn, I don't know, man. It's interesting, man. It's a lot of shit going on, bro. And you know what it is? Let me get Sean in, but we ain't gonna stay here all day today, right? Because the substance of the conversation. We go too long, pause, and then get watery. Men who are leadership roles, right? Influential roles. I would liken you guys to that. You don't get to complain to everybody either. And you definitely can't complain down. So how does that manifest in your relationships with your woman, with your children, the people that work for you, right? When you going through stuff. And now, what are the proper outlets too? I find that to be a thing that I'm always very cognizant of, maybe even too much so. Even when I'm responding to like messages and shit, I'm like very like, okay, how much do I say? What can I say? Even joking. If I joke, it's more impactful than if other people joke in certain settings. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just very cognizant. I try to be, right? Not 100%, but I try to be. So I know that's one thing that could be a mental weight too. This is something else just to assess. Sean, what's popping?
Yeah, what's good with y'all? How y'all feeling?
What's goody?
Man, this is a great conversation. I'm over here trying to focus and man, but I'm like, damn, this is a great conversation. Man, y'all gotta be thinking of all types of stuff, man. Like, man. Of course, man, you reminded me of you know, how I talked about my last relationship and how I had to set those boundaries when one big mistake I made, and to be honest, I feel like I made it around this community too, in some ways. You know what I'm saying? Like when you start telling too much of your past, even if it doesn't affect your current, or even if that wasn't people's experience with you, it'll be weaponized against you at some point, and it can shape people's opinion of you. And it's like, I'm not even like that shit no more. You know what I'm saying? That ain't even me. I'm just giving you context and background.
Yeah.
And it can be weaponized against you.
Yeah.
And that's
in the conversation that the context and background pertains to.
Yes.
Right. So you literally discussing it because that's what we discussing.
Yep. Literally.
Right. Go ahead.
Literally, you're right. So it's just like, you know what I'm saying? It can make people, let's just say a person who has a criminal past, people will think even 20 years later that you're still that person and that they have to be on guard for certain shit. And it's like, I've been 5 versions of myself since that. I'm just telling you, this is this is how far I've grown. This is where I've come from. I'm not telling you got to hide your purse or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you that. And also, I'm not saying that, you know, I'm going to try to date one of your friends or something like that. I'm just saying that these are the things I've done and I've grown from that. Allow me to grow, you know what I'm saying, from that. You know, so also in terms of vulnerability, I was told this for a long time, some version of this, but I always realized I've been emotionally unavailable a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, with women. And part of it is it's just a protection mechanism, because you're just so used to like things like that being, you know, not in your best interest. And then too, part of it was just a me thing. It's like I don't know how long I'm gonna hang around. And so I know if the more I connect emotionally, you know, the more I may be tempted to stay. And I wasn't in the mood for staying and things like that. And so it really made me think of like all the different phases I've been through in life, the mistakes I've made, things I could have done better. And yeah, this has been a great conversation. Even with my daughter, man. Like I had to force myself, even within the last few months, to be to be who I'm generally not. You know how some can happen, and you know, we got dads up here. Something. Say for instance,
How old is she? For context,
she's 18. She'll be 19.
Oh, all right. So you okay? Older.
Yeah. And so even you know, the situation when you're trying to explain certain things like divorce and things like that, like divorce has consequences. And that's why I like Fantastic. I be feeling you when you be talking about a lot of shit about divorce, and I'll be having a bunch of pain as it relates to that because we don't know the unintended consequences. And so I didn't realize the effect it had on her until I'm in her face. And then her emotions that she didn't know, the emotions that she didn't know were there, they started to come out. And my brain say, the fuck you say? You know what I'm saying? That's what my brain say. You know what I'm saying? But then it's like, wait, I gotta play this differently. I have to actually understand, shut the fuck up, and then give her time to process. And then we have to come back around and have a conversation. And in that conversation, I have to be vulnerable as a dad, as opposed to just being like, you know what I'm saying? Like a nigga. You know what I'm saying? It ain't Sean the nigga, it's Sean Taylor's dad.
Yeah.
and understanding that, I gave myself permission to just step back and actually understand somebody else's perspective and understand how either my actions or inactions affected them. So it forced me to step outside of myself and understand that our actions have consequences, whether you're right or wrong. Because here's the spoiler: I was right. in a situation, right? But the consequences are whatever the fuck they are. And so now is my job to deal with that. And in that, it made me be transparent and have to explain things that I hadn't explained and that her mom hadn't explained, just so we can move past that situation. And now here we are months later, and it's fucking great. But everything in me, my brain said, "Who the fuck you talking to?" You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So this conversation has so many applications beyond, just dating.
Yeah. No, real shit though. Like different dealing with them girls, man. They just and the kids, man, maybe I guess we was probably annoying, but these kids are just corny and annoying, like 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 the next door neighbor, he like the same age as my daughter. And he just like, "Oh, what's up?" I meant, "Hi, Mr. Watson." I'm like, "What's up, my nigga?" I strangle the shit out you. You know what I'm saying? Soft handshake, motherfucker. That's what I'm thinking. I only said it once, but but like he straightened up, but it just, they are so like just annoying. I come outside one time, I was bringing them to this little pool party, and then boy just lean. He wasn't even, I never seen him before. He just leaning on my car. You know what I mean? Like, you come outside the club, motherfucker just be leaning on your shit. Like, I'm like, yo, who the fuck is, I'm like, and it's Texas, so I be forgetting I be having a strap on my way. I'm like, oh, this is not a good. This is bad. It's just the scene probably look crazy. Get the fuck off my car, this 40 just swinging everywhere and shit like that. Like, I'm like, yeah, this probably look crazy because I'm not mad per se, but they just get on your nerves, like, so it's just, oh man, it's a lot out here, Sean. You know what I mean? Real shit, man. Damn, man. It's hard, man, processing this shit. Reaper with the 10 ounces. Salute, HAMP panel. Great discussion. Shad, sorry for your loss. Schizophrenia is easily one of the toughest things to help someone with, even with drugs and treatment. Don't feel remorse, bro. Rest in peace to Josh. I think it's guilt, right?
Amen, guilt.
Yeah. What the fuck he get?
Hey, the wildest thing helped about the internet. It was like people we went to school with, and I shouldn't have been on the internet. I spazzed out for a couple of days because I just saw comments why his friends didn't, and it was just like, man, that was a rough time. That was a rough time in that situation, bro.
Yeah, people always pointing, bro. Everybody an expert, right? Monday morning quarterback about what you should have, could have done for somebody. You know what I'm saying? Even in the most dire situations. Bravo! Bravo taking the building. What's popping? Super dope conversation.
Shit like that.
Gentlemen. Perfect. It's much needed, and I think people are definitely listening. Indeed. Will, what's popping?
Perfect. Shit like that.
Appreciate you, God. Dope conversation, man, for sure, man. This is actually a fun fact. Will was the first person to ever kick somebody off when I opened up the bathroom. And this might be risky history.
Shout out to Will. Will cool guy.
Yup. Yeah, man. We didn't even talk about the kids. Like, the kids open you up to so much stress, and oh my goodness, man. They make you vulnerable. Like, I remember because Bub, Bub that be on the panel, right?
Yeah. Shout out to Bub.
Niggas don't play with Bub, right? Just keep it short and sweet, right?
I can tell.
But the kids though, like, you could get one off if he got his kids with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you talk shit to that nigga, you gonna have to see about it. But if his kids with him, you might got a shot, nigga. Maybe. And that's the shit where you on your tray shit, punching the air and shit, because you be home mad as a motherfucker. Like when niggas say you lucky your kids with me, there's niggas, my kids with me, there's niggas that actually mean that shit. Like, yo, you fucking lucky. You be fuming and shit like, boy, man, oh man. So yeah, man, kids that had you just all fucked up, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
And they smart too, shot. Cause all my youngest ones is 3322. So what they do, they send Rocky at me. That's my youngest daughter. Cause if Rock asks, it's 95% chance I'm gonna say yes. Everybody ask, the other girls ask 85%. So Rock always goes, Daddy, can we have a popsicle? She lean her head to the side, big nose ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, go ahead, fuck it. You know, candy for breakfast. Like, and they just be knowing this shit. Send Rock. Rock gonna get it done. You know what I'm saying?
And him, the algorithm be fucking with me. Every time I'm on the gram or like a Facebook, all I see is kid videos. I'm like, man, stop the press, man. What you trying to do right now?
They baking them kids.
I'm like, oh man, like it's time. I'm like, bro, I don't even got kids, so I know exactly what you're saying. Just the kids do something to you, bro.
They do, bro.
I already know.
Zeke in the building. My bad, y'all. Go ahead. What's up, Coach Bird? Ezekiel Ben Israel with a 20 ball says, moment of silence to all our fallen family, friends, and soldiers to mental health. Yeah, man.
Perfect.
Fact. Real shit, man. There's so much out there, boy. You know what I mean? Happening to you. Let me see. Hold on. Got this one. I think I skipped one. Reaper with the $5 salute. I hope you check out the Cam Newton clip I sent with actor breaking down because of the misconceptions people had on him, despite being an actor. Yeah, I saw that, man. I actually did a pre-record on it, you know, but that shit was real. I think Cam did a good job too, like knowing when to shut up.
Oh,
you know,
that reminds me of Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What up, buzzing, bird flipping dozen. Holla at your boy, you thought your cousin was.
Ezekiel Ben Israel, salute, I appreciate you. Gifted 5 memberships. Perfect. Whoever God bless the one, please maintain it. And Coach Ferg, I think we good. But what you got for us before we skedaddle? You know what I mean?
What up, Coach?
How y'all doing, man? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
I mean, you know, this is a very interesting conversation, man. That was my life for the last 20, 25 years, man. Speaking with young men in a group. I would think if you want to try any type of therapy, do group therapy first. Go to group therapy and be around other men who may have had similar experiences or worse or better, but could also give you something you can connect with, but also give you a possible remedy. The whole reason for going to therapy is getting a remedy to get out of that mind state of being defeated. You're going to lose some races, but you always want to win, place a show in life. I mean, I've seen it over the last 25 years, man, in the worst of neighborhoods, and the good brothers, good young men, kids, talented, naturally talented, you know, but they get inside their head because by default, the people that you want to love you the most, they let you down. If we all get into it and we get emotional, we'd be ready to tear each other's head off if we were in a space where we were just mad at each other, everybody mad at each other, but we in the same space. This how chaotic that would be. And then a lot of times when you look back, somebody in your family did you wrong, mother, father, cousin, somebody you felt that should have loved you, our girl, our man did you wrong. And to me, what I've told young people in their 20s and teens, to go have a conversation with the person that sort of let you down. That's it. Don't. It's not for them. It's for you.
Yeah.
You know. But You know, a lot of people who, how many brothers are willing to be vulnerable with other men similar? And then this, when you speak about it, but also here's the catch 22. Once you go and you get it out, get the garbage out, then everything you do from that point is a 180 from the life that you believe traumatized you. You have to go get the world and put the world in your hand. A black man is really made to move around and explore. I listen to brothers talk, and almost every brother that's been to the military or traveled overseas, brothers from the military, what I hear and what they probably would agree, they have I'm not gonna lose attitude. I ain't gonna lose. I don't give a damn what I have to face. Man, beast, God. But, you know, and the brothers that stayed and got caught up in that whole life that we trying to escape from, because we all trying to escape that shit, then they a little timid, but they don't even understand the power. Because a lot of brothers don't even have children. They the king God out here. You can charge a woman $50,000 to have your seed look just like you. You can take him to practice and shit and stay out there. And it's a whole dynamic, but will the women cooperate? That's the dynamic. Brothers, y'all doing it. Give yourself 4 years. Everybody on YouTube that's a man 30 to 45 that feel like they ain't had their break, y'all in college right now for the next 4 years. Save your money, know how to do some no shit, respect yourself, clean your house up, your apartment. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Just get in shape, man. Get outside, talk to other men. Don't be afraid to talk to brothers you don't know. You know, you know the good ones. The brothers that ain't doing shit, they'll fall to the side. They'll be over there with the women. See, look at no. If you got brothers like that in your family, just talk to them, man. Have a conversation, man. It's about real man shit. 4 years, the world is coming here to LA. Everybody can go celebrate and get part of the world. That's what it's coming down to. But you got 4 years, brothers. Commit to something for 4 years. Something that's righteous, something good that's going to either help somebody else or help if you got a son that's slow right now because he hang around his uncles and shit, everybody else on the other side of the family. Daughter's just a little too hot. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid of the courts. We know the laws. They read them on TV, on cases that we talked about. Same process. And you just write everything down that you want the judge to know. Just write everything down. Just know your laws. Contact your people that run these spaces, man, and get in there, man. I'm telling you, it'll change your life. 4 years. 4 years. I promise you. Everybody's in college. The college of life. Take HAMP's nuggets, Mr. Fantaca's nuggets, his stats and his truth. Brother Aaron, his stats and his truth. Sean, I know you still trying to figure it out which side you want to go on, but figure it out because you stand tall. Side, listen, man, you got a good heart, but you just so much a baby still. It's you right now, man. It's you. I ain't gonna lie, everybody can win out here, man, especially the brothers. The brothers, we done seen the bullshit. We done talked through it. Think about it. Over the last 50 years, all my life, it's been put the woman first. All my life. Now, up until, again, I was giving my favorite time, that early 90s fucked us up. Y'all was kids. If you was a 10-year-old back in the late 80s, 90s, man, y'all saw good people get taken up out of here. And we seen the fathers and sons get totally separated. And the daughters and mothers are unprotected, but particularly the daughters. So if you're a man, protect yourself. Learn the laws. Start getting in better shape, eating right. Y'all can eat right. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference from being lonely and alone. That's a difference. When you figure those two things out, you straight. It's a difference.
Yeah.
So you just protect yourself, man. Get out, move around, man. Even if you got to go by yourself. Find out where all the spots are, the hot spots before you go, and have fun with it. Life is about journeys and ups and downs, man. I believe every brother can do it. Every brother. At least 85% of us. The little 15%, we'll just let them stay over on the other side. But right now it's for y'all, man. For real, man. It's for y'all, man. I'm cheering for everybody. So sometimes I talk old, sometimes I talk young. But I'm right here in life, and I ain't going nowhere. So you got to come with your whole thing to push me out the way.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Yeah. There's just on Coach Ferg's point. There's a book that's dope. Depending on which one you get, got 66 books in it. They call it the Bible. Pretty popular. Y'all want to read something? I mean, Sean let the cross straight too, but you know, it's missing some stuff. Got a couple niggas in there I don't fuck with. You know, I think it's a good grounding tool for sure. They give you some laws, statutes, commandments, you know, to live by, shit like that.
Shit like that.
We'll do that on another day. You know, Mr. Fantastic almost home. That nigga still wrestling with some shit. You know what I mean? But that nigga will have a garment on this time next year.
I will not be out dressed like a Power Ranger or Street Fighter character.
We're gonna give you the Chung Lee joint with the 3.
No, I will. Hey, I will drive by. That's right. That's right.
Read. Read.
Real shit, bro. Marcus with the $5 says, salute to the brothers on the panel. Dope conversation today. Mental health for us is important to mental health for us is very important to us, man. Be safe. Marcus Evans with the says, Coach Ferg, salute. And man, Men's Mental Health Month, man. I hope that we did it a good service today. I hope that it was substantive. I hope that there's takeaways. You feel me? I know I have some that I'm going to try to employ. And there's a few that I'm not sure about. So I'm going to put them on my whiteboard and see if I could diffuse them. If I can't, I may have to implement them. That's how I go. DC Slim with the fellas. The greatest part of life is you get a choice and a chance. Great show today, fellas. Perfect. Sean, my brother, any final thoughts?
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Nah, man, great conversation, man. I appreciate all y'all thoughts and the insight that y'all shared, man. Great show.
Word. Shop it up.
Hey, man. Blessings to all the brothers who are either dealing or who have overcome. Life is long, so do it for yourself, bro. That's it.
That's a fact. Coach Ferg, I know you just got your shit off. Any concise final thoughts?
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Brothers, man, y'all got it, man. I'm telling you, man, just believe in yourself. And first of all, read that good book. And listen, HAMP said it. The things that nuggets you got today from everybody, imply those for the next week or so. Then come back in a week and talk about how when you did it, it helped you. And when you didn't do it, it hurt you. Because some things, if you don't do and you don't apply to that game of knowledge, when you come back in a week and evaluate your next paycheck, you're going to be in the deficit. But if you apply it, it takes 90 days. Give yourself 90 days. It'll be life-changing, I'm trying to tell you.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Fantastic.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Greatly appreciate all the brothers that came through today, and very, very transparent. That's real hard out here nowadays, man, to say this stuff publicly. Most importantly, bro, find your purpose, love yourself, and look out for your people. Check on your people, bro. That's some shit we used to say all the time. Check on your people. I'm getting into that. You know me. I'm a loner ass nigga, right? People be hitting me up, and I was like, whatever, I'm good. But everybody is not you, right? And I think a lot of times we have to remove ourselves and our demeanor and our resilience and all these different things, and be considerate of just how someone else may be going through. So just check on your people, man, from time to time. Set up a reminder in your phone or whatever. It may seem routine or whatever, but hey, it's better than being routine and you doing it than not doing it at all.
Yeah, real shit. Aaron.
Success is 1,000 miles away always, and a journey of every journey of 1,000 miles begins with one single step. The sun comes up today. There's a new chance to take one step. Gentlemen, it's a fantastic conversation, much needed. It's probably my favorite episode, definitely top 3. Bunch of great minds up here today, still here, and the ones that checked out, I appreciate and love all of you. Any of you brothers that are out there that are having issues and trouble, first dial 911, dial whatever hotline you need to dial. Once you get that sorted, play back this episode, cover to cover. You're going to find some sort of solace, some sort of comfort, some sort of answer, some sort of motivation, some sort of direction in the brilliance in the minds of the brothers that's on the panel today. We're here for you. We love you. Men's mental health is important. The world rests on it. Without it, everything dies. So stay here, stay in the fight. We need you. We love you. We appreciate you. Salute.
Perfect.
Shit, man. All y'all do is talk about women ass niggas. Everybody who be in the chat where y'all talk about the same shit for the just showing y'all the elephant. That's all we showing you. Hey, all they do is art. Y'all niggas. Clean, productive, right? We see a difference. You know what I mean? But everybody was here, they supposed to be. You know what I mean? Shit ain't easy out here, man. You know? I'm telling you, man. Seconds, minutes, hours can make a whole difference in a lifetime. You'd be surprised how you can change the trajectory with any type of decision. You know? And you could easily be that person on that other end of that totem pole at the bottom. Because the safety nets aren't there, the support systems aren't there. And I think the one thing that we control is exactly what Mr. Fantastic said, man. Be kind when you can, and you'd be surprised how much we can support each other more. One thing I like about Mr. Fantastic, I'm stronger than him. So when I give him a hug, he can't get out the shit. You know what I'm saying?
That nigga putting one arm down. He ain't fucking strong. I put this shit up. You know how many motherfucking 8-footers I done kept out the way. So this nigga think he's slick. He use football technique. So we don't
yeah, I ain't never get stiff on it. You know what I'm saying? This is fantastic. One time, pay for everybody food, right? So we walk out to go pay. He paid already, right? So he already halfway to the car. So we try to say thank you. He gonna suck his teeth. That's the type of nigga.
He from the South. He can't help it, man. That's a Southern man shit. He can't help it.
And there was one time we was out, cause he right with like that loner shit, right? So we was out. We was out somewhere. I know where we was at, but we was out in front of a house. And so there's a couple people walking the block, right? Just to see how tall niggas actually keep it. It's fantastic. Gonna call me, say, you got your shit on you? He ain't getting the car and peel off because he could have done that. He ain't do none of that. All he would do is walk into the other side of his car, just to make sure niggas was prepared. And we was prepared, but it was 10:15. So
shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
My nigga alert was going off. Nigga alert.
Look at Ed. Yo, Ed, you ain't shit, nigga. Hey, Ed, just for context, Granville was there too.
Perfect.
And Cheeky ain't no small nigga. Damn, man. But yeah, thank God it was 10:15, nigga. They would have been on World Star for the wrong reason. Damn, man. Good shit today, fellas. I'm about to hit this gym for exactly the reasons Ed just named, even though unprovoked. He didn't, he could have mind his business. DC Slim with the fellas. The version on Mr. Fantastic, this version of Mr. Fantastic is my homie. Oh, y'all cool today. Okay. DC Slim with the fellas. If you want to catch more fish, cast your net to the right. Indeed, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Jump in the Discord. Get your tickets to Risky Weekend. This shit gonna be fire. Head to the gym. Eat better. You know what I'm saying? Get somebody a hug. Get somebody a compliment. Fuck it, man. This shit ain't easy. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And We out.